had a question from Kiwa Mechanic. Says
Kiowa.
Kiowa.
I'm going to force you to get that right.
I will fuck up words so bad. You have no idea.
It is an amazing helicopter, sir. Do not get that thing wrong.
He goes,
I will send you cool YouTube video links to that thing doing some amazing stuff.
All right. So, coming from Tanks, do you think Wargaming does a better job of supporting ships than Tanks?
They're two different developers. I mean, Tanks comes out of Belarus, and then Ships comes out of St. Petersburg. They're the same wargaming, but it's if you ever heard of an expression in an office where you have like cubicles separated, they have two different type of departments that never talk to each other, even though they're in the same building. That's kind of like what World of Warships and World of Tanks does. They collaborate between each other, but they're just developed different type of teams working on each one of them. I think World of Warships is rising, but World of Tanks is established.
Yeah.
So and then we all know the flop for warplanes. So
we'll leave the redheaded stepchild out of it.
Yeah. Their air flop game. Air Force game.
War Thunder. Oh God, War Thunder. Sorry, I had to.
Someone get that man a
guys.
tissue.
I apologize.
Sapphire Mark asks, question for everyone: what was the most frustrating ship you have played so far?
Oh,
goddamn Pepsi Cola.
I would say
Pepsi Cola.
recently the Ibuki and the Izumu, because those two are just extremely rough right now. But
It's its own fucking zip code. Jeez.
I'm gonna go with the York, the Tier 7 German cruiser.
I'm gonna get mocked for this one, but I'm gonna say the Bayern. I fight those things, and it seems like nothing can sink them. But I swear to God, nose on, I get citadeled by some of the stupidest shit. I'm just like, what the?
This is the guy that's.
That was a cruiser through the nose.
yeah,
Okay,
And
so
it's
when he
frustrating.
first
It's a great boat, but it is so frustrating for me.
when he first started playing, I watched him like sailing broadside on with Fusos and stuff because he didn't know how to angle. So I'm like, yeah, the German battleship line is going to be tough. When they're angled, they're invincible.
Yeah.
I've
I mean,
come
you don't
nose
want to
on.
nose in. You don't want to. The only German battleship that can nose in is the Tirpitz and the Bismarck. Those are the only ones that can nose in.
I love that boat.
Yeah, well, screw those guys anywhere. Nassau for life. The Nassau will get down. It is
Nassau
so
get funky.
great
Nassau have
tier.
soul.
Screw wing turrets. Screw wing turrets.
All right, so
Except when you're aiming at Rhode Island, you can hit Nevada. So
Exactly.
Absolute truth.
right.
Yeah.
What were your two votes? What were the ones you guys hated or are frustrated by?
Well, before the carrier nerf to tier 4 and 5s, it was probably the Pepsi Cola. Afterwards, it has to be the Zuiho, tier 5 Japanese carrier. That is so hard to play because every boat goes air superiority and you've got 4 fighters. And once you're locked in, you can't get away.
Yep.
I don't know what you guys deal with the Pepsi Cola thing. I had like a 65% or 62% win ratio on it. It was one of the funnest ships that I've ever played.
Oh God, I love it.
I miss it. I almost want to downgrade out of the New Orleans and go back to the Pepsi Cola and just
Keep
have fun
it
with it.
yep.
Once I
Damn-
learned
hang on
how
to
to
it.
Damn
play
fruits
that
are
thing,
players.
and
Damn
its crumple zones, oh my God, I loved it.
Yeah, everywhere. Everywhere is just crumple zones.
Yeah, except behind an island, because the island doesn't have a crumple zone. You almost
Island
get
armor
like
is
a
best armor.
Cleveland
Confirmed.
with bigger shells. Gator, what was yours?
Mine was Izumo, definitely. Well, I just finished racking in it to get the Yamato. So like two weeks ago, I got the Yamato, and I was like, thank God, sell that damn tier 9 because it's a boat. It turns like a freaking bathtub. It's huge, and it just it like magnetizes towards it. Anytime you get hit in the front, your guns are disabled, and you only have 3 of them in the front. But when it's angled forward, you might as well make a sandwich, man. They can't hurt you. Basically, even the Yamato is the only one that can, but that's an exception to the rule. But
And the,
Well,
and the
Yamato
Izumo,
is
you feel like you're
Yamato.
being
It's a
focused.
super battleship, super space battleship. Come on.
Super
Right.
space battleship.
Super Space Battleship.
You put Captain
can't wait
Harlock
to
in that thing, and you're ready to go.
Dude, I want to get Yamamoto on him, man. Once I get through those Yamamoto missions, I want to get that that captain on it. That'd be ridiculous. But I think that one, or once I got up to like tier 6 and 7 in the Japanese destroyer line because of the reload time on the torpedoes, because it went from the Minakaze, which was like 30 seconds reload, to like a minute and a half, and you're like, what do I do? Like, I can't use my guns because I'm a Japanese destroyer. If I see anything that has any sort of even secondary guns, I'm like, and run away, you know? So, and I got a minute and a half to just chill. It's like playing a battleship, just with torpedoes.
So,
anyway,
Right.
Mistrin was asking, what was the most disappointing ships you guys have played?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I'll take a gander on that one. Right now, I kind of have to refocus the Alabama. I thought the Alabama was going to be very much like my North Carolina. When I got into it, I was like, this really just doesn't feel like my North Carolina. Something to do with either the shell, like travel, or something with it. So I was a little disappointed on that. But after playing a little bit more, got used to it, and I can take it back. I'm like, okay.
Nice.
I was about to say that. Abe Gibson brought it up. Anybody else getting the Graf Zeppelin?
Nope.
Negative.
I
was-
thought about it. I
I
thought
w-
about it.
I was going to when it had the torpedo loadout, but once I saw that it was all dive bombers, I hate. If you watched my stream Saturday night when I played one game in the Ryujo, I hate RNG in CVs. Ugh,
I love it.
hate it.
Love it, RNG and CVs. Just gotta know how to abuse it.
The Southern Dragon is the ship that I would burn to the bottom of the ocean if given the chance.
Something.
It was like, it's just a Miyoko with a repaint. I don't care. I hate that damn boat, and I can't sell it just to get a free port slot. It just sits there and taunts me with 2 giant neon dragon middle fingers.
Try having like 8 ARP ships or 9 ARP ships. So they look like a rave puked on them, you know. But
Yep.
I do love them because they're freaking Congos, and I love the Congo, man. It's a fast battleship. It's not even technically a battle cruiser, but
Battle cruiser, but
Yeah.
who's
time,
actually counting?
every time I look at the dragon, I just want to take it out in the water and then just to annoy the stream, cue up that baby metal or whatever it is, that Japanese. Like, play
Do
do
it.
it. It's super cool. I'm like, from now on, I think I'll play. I'm like, all right, but you have to listen to this music. See how
Do
long
it.
people stop saying you should play that one. No, I will play a battleship in reverse the entire game at the enemy before I will pick that thing up again.
You didn't really have a choice either, because like I remember like I got all of them and I was like, man, now I just got to get all the ARP ships. It's just a completionist thing. And then all of a sudden, like they ended it, and I all of a sudden had the Congo. That was the only one I didn't have. Was I had all the other ones, the Kirishima, all those ones, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, the Congo's there. I was like, I don't know how I even earned this. I was like, they just showed up in my port. I'm like, okay, but they're like, you did enough.
So
I think most disappointing have to be all the ARP ships. They're all, I mean, it's all basically all Congos, Miyokos. It's all the same thing, and all they do is take up room in your port. And I mean, you can't sell them, you can't get rid of them. They're just there and nice, yellow like they're a premium ship or something.
I think my most disappointing ship, and I love it, but I absolutely hate it at the same time. It's probably the Graf Spee.
Yes.
Oh, I love me the Graf Spee, man. It's fun.
I like it, but I don't know what it is. It's a cruiser that wants to be a battleship, but it doesn't have the armor to be a battleship, and
It's like that kid who comes to play baseball who really, really tries hard, and you feel good for him because he really puts in the effort, but he just can't. He doesn't even know where the base is, let alone where the ball's supposed to be.
It was the only one in the appropriate tier that wasn't an ARP ship that I could take into ranked. So I just played ranked with the Graf Spee. Think of how much of a freaking target I was. I was like,
Yeah.
ow, ow, ow,
I
ow,
don't
ow.
envy.
You were a
I don't
target
envy
by your own team because you picked that and they hated you for it.
I got cussed out in chat nonstop.
Yeah.
Year before it was tier 7, so I was running the freaking Gneiss now, man. I was rocking the
Still
Gneiss
getting
now.
fast.
Not as bad
So-
as Nuremberg, though.
so
You see
speaking
Nuremberg,
of,
I was like,
So speaking of tiers, what tier is your guys' favorite? Which one is proven to be the most fun?
so far it's been the sevens. There's a lot of categories in the sevens, and there's a lot of good ships on sevens. So
Yeah, I'd say 6 or 7.
Yeah.
5 and 10. I switch between 5 and 10.
That is such a big different range. It's unreal. 5 and 10.
Yeah, when I get killed my 10, then I jump back to my 5.
Here's why. He does the 10s and he goes, crap, Fem is in this one, or another aircraft player who knows what they're doing. I'll go back where everybody doesn't have manual drop, and I can just laugh as I can just torpedo beat every idiot out there trying to learn carriers. That's his range.
Really, it comes down to me. I go back and play the kamikaze because I'm like, that's an unnerved kamikaze. Like it's a little, it's P.
Yeah, I'm 6 and 7. I love the Cleveland, the Shores, my Leander. Really loving my Fiji now. That's my sweet spot. 6 and 7.
I'm at 6 and 9s because I'm actually enjoying playing the Yugamo and the Essex at 9, and the Independence, and sometimes the New Mexico at tier 6.
Mexico's a brute, man. I love that. I love that boat. I'm not even up to it, but I like fighting them. They're usually stand up pretty good.
All right. So Mistrin asks, worst situation you've been in a battle?
That's an easy one. When you get a division of 3 people who are all team killers, all shooting at you. 2 of them kill themselves, killing you. Then the other one finishes you off.
Hey, that was one time.
No,
No, it wasn't you.
Possibly, and I were in a game. We had 3 team killers. One went directly after him. When they saw that I was in a division with Possibly, they went after me. Then we got them again in the very next game. Again. And they did the same exact stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That doesn't take the cake for my worst situation. My worst situation actually happened, about an hour ago. I pushed into a cap as a destroyer on my own against like 6 enemy ships, and I was in there for a solid 2 minutes, no smoke. Finally, I had to smoke up, so I was in there probably 4 minutes of this battle. And where's my team? Down in the corner.
Yeah.
6 ships, all down in the corner, and guess what they were? Tier 9 and 10 battleships.
Sniping, man.
Hell.
They're sniping.
Yeah, I think everybody's had this situation where you're in a destroyer, you're sitting in your smoke, you're chilling, and some idiot pushes you out of your smoke into torpedoes.
Oh yeah.
You're just parked all of a sudden, and just like, oh! Anyway, that was.
Something along those lines. Possibly Hotel and Khreegor will probably remember Rusty Buckets. I was playing a cruiser. I was playing, I think it's my Leander, and I popped smoke. Finally got slowed down, had to back into it. And he's like, I'm coming to the smoke. I can't slow down. I can't slow down. I'm like, what do you mean you can't slow down? Hits me with his battleship and turns me into a goddamn snowplow. And right about then, all the cross smoke from the other side, all the torps appear. And he's like, we got this. Teamwork. Teamwork. No teamwork. And I can't get off the front of him. And he just plows through 8 torpedoes using now my Leander's body and rams me into the enemy ship. So I take the damage, which I'm already dead, and he actually killed the enemy DD that way. He's like, well, I got a ram with no damage. Good teamwork, buddy.
And the thing is, he's such a nice guy that you're just like, I hate you, but you're so cheerful about it.
Yeah, he was so like he legitimately thought this was like a teamwork play. I'm like, no. The front.
So, okay, on the flip side, what's been one of the best or the most awesome situations you've been in? What's like your top situation?
A triple kill with a torpedo spread. Even a double kill, a double hit with torpedo spreads is good. But I've gotten a triple hit with it before.
Your answer is wrong, Cater. It was YOLOing down the middle of the goddamn islands.
Oh, yeah. No, that was great.
The two brothers potato move.
Yeah, that was and
it worked.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that one. We all told them, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Like, you know. And then they just started tearing up the enemy teams because they're like, oh my God, somebody actually came down. Torps flying, and they're just sinking people left and right.
And 3 battleships and a cruiser going down the middle of 2 brothers. And we're just we stop partway through and dodge some torpedoes. Edge gets killed in the channel. The rest of us come out and just mess their world up, right? And all you see in the chat is this actually working? Like,
Yeah.
like,
That's the best thing, right?
yeah. And all you hear the response is Eric or Baron over here going, "For Frodo!" And there's just
Frodo.
Yep, that was the war cry for Frodo.
Frodo.
Praise,
Wow.
praise Allah and for Frodo. That's all you're coming out. Yeah. And the funny thing is, by the time it was done, we did die in their cap, but the entire enemy team was in this corner because they were oh shit, we capped everything.
The
Yeah.
entire team actually pulled through and flanked them on the other side while everybody's paying attention to you, and it
Yeah.
worked.
Oh, it works beautifully.
That's like
Oh, yeah.
1 in 1,000 right there.
Right?
Yeah.
It was
Chat,
the-
that strat is not recommended.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
that
Adam.
was
there is a video of that on our YouTube channel.
that was the last game of the night. I was like, I'm done. I'm ready to crash out. I'm tired. I'm like, let's just go down the middle. Let's do it. And it worked.
Actually, I do recommend that strategy. If you look on the opposing team and any of them have the HKA or the D4 tag for a clan, and you're opposite, we highly recommend you use that strat every single time.
So I've got like 2 of the best moments.
Okay.
It's a close tie. One of them was when Edge was coming at me with his New Mexico, or no, Arizona. I torped him. He was almost full health, and I detonated him, and he thought he had me dead to rights. Dude, triple grade A bullshit was exactly what he said.
I remember that statement.
Yep.
And then the second one,
That moment became a meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the second one, I was on 2 brothers, and there's a cruiser and a destroyer coming alongside each other. Well, the destroyer smoked up the cruiser, so I tore up the cruiser. And as the torps were hitting him, this destroyer pops out and eats the other 2 torps for a double strike.
Nice.
I had one. We were doing one of the live streams, and it was Edge, and I think it was one of you 2 guys, but you guys are going in a circle with your 2 battleships. It was like 2 battleships, and all of a sudden, all you hear is from one of the players is, "Oh, this is how they mate." Because you guys were just you guys were close enough to me, just doing this circle like this, just beating the shit out of each other. Like, "Oh, this is how they mate."
Yeah, because neither of you could hit with your main guns. You kept hitting the water or going right over the top. It was just horrible dispersion. I remember that one. It's actually one of the most viewed videos on the Defortification channel is "This is how they mate." My big moment, I had 3 kills, and I'm like, all right, guys, let's see if we can go for a Kraken. And I'm in my shores, and I go to turn and cut around the island because I know a cruiser's coming. And I knew he was about half health because I had lit him on fire. And right when he pops out, I just hit him broadside. Double Citadel at 4 kilometers, AP, from a Russian cruiser. Dead. I'm like, yeah! Shit! Because right behind them was a 3/4 health Tirpitz at 4 kilometers. I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
oh! Reloads, I'm like, fuck it, we're gonna die anyways. Hit him. 3 Citadels, and I hit his magazine and detonated. I'm like, oh my god, Indicate, please, God, somebody tell me you just clipped that. They had both gone AFK for a second. I know who else y'all had to clip that thing for me. And I'm like, you guys are assholes. Like, why did you clip it? I'm like, I don't know how to clip this shit yet. I just make the big plays. You clip it. It's like, would have been here if it was a jelly bean. The fucking Kraken. I'm like, wow, my best thing ever in the game. And you just like,
You just
probably
tell
the other
me.
one. My Kraken the other night. I think it was a Leander fired torps at 2 kilometers. They were so tight. I'm pretty sure the torps clipped through the sides of my boat in my German DD and got the kill, pulled out to finish getting the last one. I'm like, yeah, that's how you do it. I'm like, trash talk. So, like,
any torpedo beats moment, basically,
Yeah.
they just weave through
Pretty
them.
close.
Especially in a battleship where you're just like, I'm a badass.
Where it's,
turning a
no,
Cadillac.
it's not like, oh yeah, I'm a badass. No, it's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And ooh,
Yep.
that one's taking some paint off, Helmut.
So
My favorite game moments, or whatever you want to call it. Well, there's 2 of them. One is when you score blind citadels You're firing blind just at a completely random target. So I was in my Texas one game at maximum range. There was a Nuremberg. He was the last ship on the team for them. And I shoot over this mountain and just spread everywhere, all the guns. And the last shell that would have hit the water hit him, citadeled him, dead. That won the game. It was beautiful. But the most general gameplay thing that I hate that it exists, that people get baited by this, is when a single ship, namely a cruiser that has good fire chance, can kite 3 battleships, a destroyer, and 2 cruisers for the better part of 7 minutes.
You mean stamps in a
killing 4 of them and doing 180,000 damage in the process. So that happened in my top Hindenburg game was that.
Oh, in the corners.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
So
calls
he
it
also had
kiting.
a question we missed.
He calls it kiting. I call it running.
Yeah.
It's kiting.
With eye chase?
What's your take on the eye chase thing?
What's the eye chase thing?
He got him. His community contributor status got revoked from Wargaming, but it was returned actually.
Yeah,
so they put an apology out there for it.
Returned, but he didn't.
But if you looked at his video, he kind of put himself in that pinch. I mean, he was swearing words left and right about the ship, and it was, to be honest, too. They promised a ship that was really good during the testing of it, and then when it got launched, it just went to crap. And that's his opinion was. So Wargame didn't like that, and then they kind of went a little too quick on their decision to take this community contributor off, and later they gave it back to him.
Yeah, it took Wargaming Russia to do it, or whatever the higher ups doing it, because basically the problem with that whole situation was communication between Wargaming Europe and Wargaming US.
Yeah,
and it was, and then they have two complete. And the thing is, Wargaming is very, very clear on their policies. So when the heads up finally came in, they're like, no, this has always been our policy. You can put your stuff up. We totally promote it. I mean, that's the policy they should have. It's really awesome because it just promotes their game. That's why they have so many players.
I think every game does that at least once or twice. Somebody trying to, be the superhero and save the company name of script. I've seen it happen with Riot. I've seen it happen with Blizzard with content creators.
Yeah.
I've seen tons of them. I mean, all the way back to the Quake videos back in YouTube, back when I used to run the Quake ladder and all the competition stuff back then. Everybody screws up. Unfortunately, now I think it's just a lot more public. So it's a lot more seen.
Social media brings it out into the limelight.
Well,
very quickly.
As a YouTube creator, my biggest problem with it was the fact they were using the copyright system. They were threatening the copyright system against them. That was my qualm.
That wasn't eye chase.
Not
That was
this time.
Servash.
Yeah.
There we go. Think of the wrong one.
I mean, that's.
And that was a tank. That one was a tank, not a ship.
Yep.
I think
that thing was OP as hell, man. I watched him play that. Holy crap! Yeah. I mean, he was a little graphic about it, but yeah.
As far as how it'll affect my streaming content, Gibson, it won't. I mean, I don't think I've even gotten in Wargaming size. I think the only one here that's really caught their eye made them go, "Woo!" is that luscious beard there of High Fires. And my thought is, if they want to give me crap over their stuff, I'm like, that's cool. I'll go play that game then. I mean, they're not paying me to play it. I'm not cool enough or big enough yet for something like that. If I was, I'd be like, cool. How do you want me to tone it back? Sorry about that, guys. You paying the bills now. I'm kind of a pseudo employee.
They weren't being paid though.
I mean, they're indirectly getting paid by Wargaming. They're getting fed viewers to their streams and to their YouTube left and right.
Yeah, and they're getting premium. They're getting testing to test ships early, that kind of stuff. They're getting earlier content. That's the only really when they take away contributor things. It's like you're basically just a regular YouTuber at that point. It's not really like a huge hindrance. It's like if I were in that situation, and if it were like an illegitimate thing, I'd be a little pissed. But I'd be like, okay, now I can say whatever I want.
Well, you just got to be careful that you're not slanderous with it, but yeah.
Right. You look like you're ready to put the daddy pants on. You're like, I'm gonna.
I've been told by a person that actually works with a lot of the Wargaming events that if Wargaming doesn't like something that you're doing, they will let you know. And I have not seen any of that. Whatever I put up there, cursing content. Wargaming sucks, all that stuff, and I still haven't got anything repertoire from it. So, but don't go out there doing that. I'm just saying.
Right.
Well, I think if Flamu hasn't gotten banned from Wargaming, I think you're safe.
No kidding. That right there, that's your gradient. You're like, if I don't pass Flamu's level of salt they could kill an athlete, that sodium level can get so high. What the hell did that other guy do? Like, he had to have done something more. Like, he had to have like a background email, because Flamu, like,
Well,
he
I'm
could
sure
enter.
that, yeah.
That man can really turn it up a notch.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see from my experience so far, like from what I've seen, I haven't had a personal experience with wargaming themselves, but from what I've seen in the experiences, they don't really get pissed off that easily. They tend to let them know, and then if it gets escalated is when it turns into a situation like that.
Right, well,
And
if
that's
their
where-
PR department handles it, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
If one of their
Yeah.
developers handles it like they handled iChase or Surfosh right out of the gate, then
Mhm.
then the whole world is, you never know how it's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Well, I think what got them on the Surfosh situation.
So we're good. Miss Trans
Yeah.
gonna go piss him up after doing hotel, apparently.
Well, with the Surfosh thing, it's funny because I think what got him to finally apologize was when Jingles is like, "I'm done."
Yep.
Yeah, Jingles is like, "I'm out," and they're like, "Whoa, what happened?"
whoa, come back.
Wait a minute.
But in that case, I do not blame Jingles one bit. Like, honestly, his casual Saturday videos were successful enough that he can afford to be a variety YouTuber, and he won't lose subscribers.
Right.
Is this
Well, he
where I
does-
point out I have yet to watch a Jingles video just to spite and annoy the living shit out of Cater? He's like, "Oh my god, see the new Jingles!" I'm like,
But
"Dude,
his
watch
laugh
Jingles."
is amazing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
But you should see his eye twitch when he tries to tell me all about the newest Jingles video when we're hanging out. I'm like, dude, I haven't watched a single one. He's like,
but
just
why?
like, an aneurysm. I'm like, but I did go watch some more ATSF stuff.
That's mine too. I love ATSF. I think some of his best stuff now is his cold waters. That was called this cold waters videos.
Yeah.
That game looks awesome. I haven't got it yet, but I want to play that game.
I've played it on stream, and my stream likes it a lot.
Yeah.
And I like it a lot. They're actually adding in the next update where the crew actually talks back. So when you say a head full, they'll say, "I captain a head full."
Yeah,
so-
it seems like it wouldn't be streamable because of the pacing, but people just eat it up.
So slow. Give me a
It
freaking
is.
bottle of milk and put me to bed, man.
So we had two other questions in there. So one of them we kind of talked about the one strategy that pisses off the most and the one we like. We all are in agreement. Assholes who kite 5 BBs dumb enough to chase them across the field is so frustrating. You're a BB. Stop chasing the damn destroyer. Stop chasing the Cleveland, captained by Stamps. Stop chasing a high fire when he's in one of his damn Russian DDs. You're not gonna catch him. You're
I
just
think the
gonna get
biggest
so
one is
angry.
playing in Atlanta. That's the worst strategy.
Not gonna get me.
The worst
It's so-
strategy.
yeah.
The most hated strategy when a destroyer smokes up a division of 3 Atlantas.
I don't know what's my most hated strategy. I guess my
Smoke
most hated.
balls. When the whole other team just sits there and keeps piling into smoke balls, and your team does it, and they're not grabbing the caps, they're like, "We'll just sit here and kill them all." No, they're not going to come over here. They've got 3 out of 4 caps, you idiot.
I'm
I've
good
heard
enough
you
at
do that.
shooting in smoke that I can normally, after 4 or 5 volleys, I can take care of a ship that's sitting in smoke. So that's not a huge problem for me. The
No, it's
bigger
when
problem,
your whole team does it though, and
Right.
won't go cap.
right? Well, that's besides the point, I guess. But I think my most hated strategy is just when players and teams in general play super passive. I can't stand that. I absolutely cannot stand passive teams.
Fair, what's your most hated?
When they don't push caps. At the very beginning,
Passiveness.
2 years ago when I started streaming Warships, or so, 2.5, I put a motto up there, a motto: no caps, no wins. No caps, no wins. I put that constantly in the chat. No caps, no wins. Because if you don't push the caps, you're just gonna get out ticketed. That's it. It's been there since the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah, teams that just sit out there
Unless
on
you're
the
deleting
vicinity.
ships left and right, you're going to get out ticketed if you don't have
Yep.
caps.
Yep.
Yeah, well, and that's in any game that's a capture and hold.
Objective,
I mean, it's not a new strategy to Warships,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
people seem to get stumped with it for some reason.
So,
Right. I mean, it's the same exact thing in Battlefield. You got to PTFO. If you don't PTFO, you're going to lose.
Peace the fuck out.
if you could change one
Play
thing
the
in the
fucking
game.
objective.
Play the objects in PT.
So if you guys could change one thing in the game today, what would it be?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, they did change. They did
everybody-
change the mechanics for the capture points to be much more rewarding. But I remember having a game in my Hatsuharu was like a 5,110 base experience because I went and capped 3 of them and recapped them twice.
Oh.
It was insane. So there is some mechanics that can do to make it more rewarding. Maybe just force them to go like, you know what, PUBG. Remember how like the map gets smaller and smaller? So if you're
Yep.
outside of the vicinity, your ship's gonna start dying. Gotta get closer.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
really only benefits destroyers though, because of their
Hey,
loaded
No,
detectability.
that benefits battleships too, especially since they
Yeah.
haven't fixed the battleship AP thing. I mean, when a destroyer is so close, it doesn't matter what battleship you're sailing, unless it's a German battleship. If you shoot at a destroyer at less than 4 kilometers, you're going to do 4,000+ damage to it.
Oh yeah.
And if it's a German destroyer or one of the Russian destroyers, you fire AP, you'll get full damage pens. You'll do 10, 15,000 to them.
One
Well,
of
I
my
mean-
peers did that to me. I was running around the Haberos and try to push the cap, and the German the Kurfürst, all guns aimed on me. Done.
I think to
anybody-
go off Highfire's idea real quick, to change a mechanic, I would like to see instead of, and I'd love if they took this idea, if they ever actually watched this, if we're that cool, they've got where the storms come in and you lose visibility, pull a PUBG where the storm rolls in and you're like in the eye of the hurricane. And if you go to the outside, the waves are so choppy, it's like a slow burn or a flooding on your ship because you're getting slammed around. So you've got to squeeze inside that small window where you have your
That would be
visibility. But at that
super cool.
point, DDs pretty much have to hug that outer edge or be opposite side from those BBs, but
Get
it's
in the
just
middle
going to
and smoke.
force go. And you could do it on the 4 cap ones where you can have only half those cap rings and just get in there. And if you want to bounce out, you've got to skirt out to lose visibility per second. Keep in mind, if you're low health and you go out, you're now taking flooding damage until you get back in.
It's not a bad
That would
idea.
be
That would be a very
I mean,
interesting
you would
idea.
have to be able to forecast somehow where unless like if you left a cap out of that eye of the hurricane, you would have to have it like either it shows like the forecast. This is the meteorologist in me coming out, or
Center-
The
because
meteorologist.
unless you delete the caps, because if one team, let's say you are on a map that has A, B, C, and the circle comes down on B, right? What do you do with A and C? Because if the enemy team has that, you automatically are going to lose.
No,
a
you
lopsided
leave
storm.
at least a quarter to half of those outer caps to be captured.
Mhm.
So what it does is the storm. It's it's like it's rolling over, but it's centered off the center point. So whether it's the 4 cap map or the 3 in a row, you always, if it's the 3 in a row, you have a quarter of the cap zone on those outer ones.
Oh, sure.
Or-
Nullify them. Just nullify them, meaning
Or Khreegor,
nobody gets points.
what if
Yeah,
the
or they're nullified. At that
or
point.
what if
You're getting no points.
what if it moves? Like a storm. The center of the storm
You
moves
could.
slowly across the
It
map.
starts and it pushes you
Oh.
across
So
the
you
map.
have to adjust the entire game.
And
Yeah,
once
what-
it hits the other edge, that's when the storm blows out. As soon as the eye hits the other edge of the map, it clears up.
I
You
will,
roll
only agree, I, will,
the storm
I will
across.
only agree to this as long as Hotel Kilo is the guy that announces that it's coming. He's like, okay, so there's a storm coming over here, and so this direction. And he just draws the dick and balls on the back on the green screen. It'd be great.
Or,
Now, we're gonna be at PAX Highfire. I expect you to talk to the wargaming guys about that idea that you should do that.
If Wargaming is going to be at PAX,
They are.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen anything.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
I know. Last year they didn't even have it on the PAX site. They had a separate page for it for the crushing it thing. I didn't see it till like a week before the event, which
They're doing their
actually
whole
should be
tour
now.
thing across the America stuff, so I really haven't seen it. Anything put up before PAX.
That'd
Yeah.
be a sad key. One
Oh,
of free
nice.
shit.
So, okay, so for
Hotel
a new,
Kitty told you to avoid the rain.
As there's water behind him in the room,
so here's
Dark
a
Centennial.
here's a good advice question. It says, for a new player coming into the game, which ship line do you feel is a great starter line to get a person accustomed to the mechanics of the game that will help them out the most in the long run?
American
TVs.
battleships.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. American battleships.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think the most important skill a person can learn right from the get-go is in between every single salvo, zoom out of the binocular view, look at your map, look around, go back into binocular view.
Spatial awareness.
Yep.
Yes.
I was gonna say originally when I first started playing the game, I would say Japanese destroyers. The problem is it teaches them bad traits
Yeah.
because they're used to that stealth kill, torpedo kill, and then they go into an American destroyer and they have no idea what the hell to do. You know, they don't know how to get into a firefight. They don't know how to avoid not going too far. So, yeah, I would say American battleships, Japanese battleships, because it teaches you the hard way how to angle.
That's very true.
Because angling for me is saved my life. Because even in a cruiser, you have to learn a little bit of angling.
Yeah.
Now, Timmy G says destroyers. The reason why the ability is where's Kevin? The reason why is the ability to use concealment to your advantage. Battleships can use concealment to their advantage. Not to attack that, but I think the hardest ship to learn how to. I think when you master concealment is when you can effectively do it in a battleship.
Yep.
See, for me, I would have said British cruisers. They have moderate range torpedoes, so you can learn how to use them. You don't have to worry about learning the difference between AP and HE when you're using it, so you don't have to focus on it. So you can focus on paying attention to what's around you, not torping your own teammates. Cater, asshole.
Yeah, no kidding.
Started.
Hey, I don't do that
He's
anymore.
like, I'm going to torp the guy. Okay, I have no idea how torpedoes work. You didn't tell me, so I turned right when he said turn. So I was like, okay, I'll turn in behind him. No, I turned right into his damn torpedo. So as the newbie at the time, fuck you, Cater.
At least you had a chance. I mean, when he torped me, I was like instantly dead.
You also get,
You were
you also
parked
get
next
smoke
to me.
eventually, so you can learn. You have to learn island concealment. You can learn how to use smoke eventually. You don't have to worry about the balancing between HE and AP because that's a pretty easy one to learn, I think.
Not necessarily. I mean,
No,
honestly,
I don't think. I think there's a lot of, especially lower tier battleship players, who absolutely struggle with it. They shoot HE all the time.
That was me. That was me.
Yeah,
It took
I
me a while to
honestly
switch
think-
between the two.
I think the very last ship line that you should try and play is either the Russian destroyers or the British cruisers.
The biggest mistake that people do for the British cruisers, though, is to pop in their smoke and then they leave it. So they're not slowing down fast enough to stay in their own smoke. And they think they're invincible in their smoke.
Yep, so they just sit broadside.
Yeah, they
love
sit
I
there.
cannot tell you how many British cruisers I have deleted
I've done it
when
myself,
they're
too.
sitting
Done
in their
myself,
smoke
too.
just blind firing.
Yep.
Oh, as have I. Send them
The
torp
hard
planes
thing is to
in.
learn is you
and
have
go
to be
top.
sub 18 knots going into a full stop to stay inside your smoke as a British cruiser because you get 2 puffs. You're a fine Britishman
Puff,
on your pipe.
done.
2 puffs, you're good.
Pop
Yep.
fast. That's
Yep.
it. I got
Get
it.
by. Now, what I do want to commend and say right away is I do commend destroyer guys that use their smoke and leave it when they're laying it in front of a battleship. The guys that go out and go lay their smoke and then go out and spot. Now that's a tactic that a lot of destroyers need to learn because I didn't learn until I played rank for the first time what the purpose of using a smoke isn't to hide me. It's to cover the battleships and also to allow me to go out and spot for them so they can actually shoot and not get killed. They take the damage.
Well, then look
So
at each style. Well, would you say that's the most important one then for somebody trying to learn destroyers to learn? Is your smoke is great to save your own bacon, but you can have a huge impact on the rest of your team with it. Not counting the changes that are about to come up to smoke, which I'm curious to see. High fire, how are those, by the way? Didn't you test them?
I haven't tested those, but I do on that smoke. What really irritates me the worst on British cruisers when you pop your smoke and then half your team is sitting in your own smoke and you can't see anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
No,
I think
I haven't
people need
tested
to
smoke mechanics.
people need to learn that you need spotting. That
Yeah.
is the most annoying thing for me.
Yeah, when you have no destroyer going to one side and you have no target to shoot at and they're just out firing you because they're all behind islands, that's so annoying because you're like, I can't do anything, right? I don't have anybody to shoot at. So yeah,
One I was guilty of until recently for spotting, and Nerd Rage Hulk pointed out to me, if there's no carriers in the other game, that doesn't mean that damn fighter stays on your deck.
Yep.
If you pop in a smoke, send it up. It still gives you vision. Use the damn thing. It's not as good a vision. It doesn't change your shooting angle, but it will still see things.
Saw
it's
that
still
ranked
playing.
a lot. Saw that ranked a lot. You pop their smoke and then battleships would just send up their spotting plane. All they did was just spotting. That's all it was. There were
Gibson had
3 or 4
one
of them.
too. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
there'd be like 3 or 4 of them or so going on ranked. So that's all they were doing. They're sitting in their own smoke, using their plane for spotting.
Yep.
Nice.
It's awesome.
So Gibson asked for possibly in High Fire, what's the biggest mistake a new CV player makes in your opinion?
Oh Jesus, dude! There's so many mistakes I've seen.
Well, High Fire, you want to start first? Because it sounds like he's about to pull out his journal of what the fuck. And start reading the great book of CV grudges.
Yeah, it's tunnel vision, and I get caught by this a lot. CVs do a lot of micromanagement. You got to take care of all your planes left and right, everywhere across the map. And you have to pay attention to everybody's players and see all the DDs and stuff, right? But when you get focused on trying to combat their fighter planes, like, you know, you're sitting there for like 3 minutes trying to attack their fighter planes, your other planes are like, don't know what's going on. So yeah, you get tunnel vision and whatnot. You got to like break off. Either let your fighters get sacrificed and then move on, or do something else. And that's what I've seen that a lot. I get it, do it too. And I'll be focused so hard on trying to get these guys' planes engaged, and then like all my other planes just died. I'm like, oh shit. So
Yeah.
What do you say?
Don't
Possibly?
group your planes. Don't
Yeah.
group all your planes and take them right into the enemy lines, especially when you have enemy fighters right there, because they will strafe every single one of your planes, without fail. Happens every time.
I wish
about
there
early
was a key like do you remember like on StarCraft or like Red Alert there was like an X key or something that made your units
Yep.
spread out.
Yep.
I don't know. Is there a key for that? Because I really haven't found one. Like, oh,
Nope.
you know, degroup my planes, like, move them around, because I have to like
think that
individually
was,
one of them.
I think that was Red Alert, because I think StarCraft had the select all army button, but I think the Red Alert had the split army button.
Like split up groups. Keep doing it so that way you don't. split like that.
The other thing for new players is some of them think that their planes are invincible, so they'll take them into like a big mass of ships and they'll all get shot down,
Yeah.
and they'll have no
Cluster
idea
agents.
why.
Yeah.
Taking your tier 7 carrier planes against a tier 9, Missouri, and watching them just get eaten by one boat.
Yep.
Not pay attention to what boat you're fighting against, because you're like, that's a dumb idea. Or going anywhere near Cleveland.
I remember I was playing with Khreegor one time, and he made a comment about this, and we laughed about this for a while. The enemy carrier player, this was back when I was playing the Bogue with strafing and manual drops, brought all his strike planes toward Khreegor. I strafed every single one of them. I got instant 16 plane kills.
Yeah. That was hilarious, because I was in, what the hell boat was I in? The Fuso, I think, is what I was in at the time. I was in my Fuso.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a lot of planes coming. He's like, oh, he's an idiot. I'm like, what? He goes, watch this. I'm going to show you how to make a CV captain cry. And he brought 2 fighter squadrons right over the top, because he's running air superiority. Double, like he crisscross strafed. And 2 squadrons of torpedoes and 1 dive bomber. Just poof, like a friggin' confetti popper right over the top of me. I'm like, look, it's my own party with planes.
No, you're actually wrong. I was actually running the balance loadout on the Bogue. I had 1 fighter and 1 torpedo, and I strafed them with 1 plane, and did all that.
Oh, I've seen you do some crazy stuff. A cool trick I want to learn, and I'm going to have to possibly show it as soon as I bump up to being able to do strafing, is he will tie up their fighters, wait till they bring in another one to help support it, then he will strafe out, and he has perfect timing, so right as his plane leaves the combat, the second one comes over the top, and he'll wipe out 2 squadrons of planes and lose like 1 or 2. Just you have such good timing with that crossover.
I love it when I find the strike
Kevin can't
carriers.
hear us. Fuck you, Kevin.
I love it when I find the strike carriers trying to strike, and I find their planes with my fighters and just gone.
Yep.
I needed a beer. Sorry.
That's cool. So, which ships do you guys feel are currently overpowered, and why?
I like
Flint?
playing it. Oh, duh. That's Atlanta with a smoke screen. Screw you, man. Like,
Arkansas B?
yeah.
on
The
the
kamikaze. I love playing it, but the kamikaze and the kamikaze are just because they just have such a fast reload on their torps, and they're one of the fastest destroyers in the game at tier 5. So I can take that kamikaze against
Are
any
we
tier.
talking in general or in certain people's hands? Because I'd say anything with a Russian name in High Fire's hands, anything that's a CV in Possibly's hands, And any cruiser that Hotel can hide behind 2 battleships and burn my ass to the ground with. They're like, I can't hit him. He's behind the battleships doing proper cruiser covering tactics.
I would say the Winfast, the Mikhail Kutuzov, and the Saipan.
Why you got to pick on my Belfast?
Because it's a.
I mean, I have a Belfast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm mad at the Belfast because I don't have one.
I'd say the Atlanta. Now, bear with me.
Yeah.
I've only played it when I've gotten overly up here because my highest is an 8 at the moment. But
Who's
the
your
Yamato
play-
just looks, from what I've seen it hitting other BBs, just looks ridiculous.
It takes a
And-
lot of work to get that damn ship.
The secondary upgrade they did to any of the German BBs, I don't think any of the particular boats are OP, but I think that crazy increased range on it was just absurd. But yeah, Atlanta is one of my top ones. I will admit Belfast, pretty OP. Those
I
are
think
the two that
I think
make
the Belfast just has too much utility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
It's so rounded out. Yeah, because the Atlanta has the limited range.
Kudasov, you'll catch those Kudasovs when they're drifting out of their smoke, and you sit all those guys. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they're overpowered. I think they just have a little bit of too much utility.
So on the
I agree. They
opposite,
should get torpedoes.
so on the opposite end of the spectrum, who do you feel is which ships do you feel are underpowered or needs a boost?
Graf Zeppelin. Graf Zeppelin.
Yeah,
Very
that's
much.
true.
Very much
Yeah.
so, yeah.
I think the Bismarck needs more secondary range. Personally, I think it's too little. It's just you need to stretch that out a little bit.
Barry, can you
10.3
step in the other room and hit his reset button really hard.
I would say a lot of the Tier 9 cruisers. I mean, the Baltimore itself, between the New Orleans and the Des Moines, they're both of them really good, but the Baltimore is kind of a tough nut. Same thing with the Ibuki for the Japanese. I think the Tier 9s, they're in a bad place where they get matched up to Tier 10s and they just don't have a lot of armor. So I think those ships just need to be a little bit more buffed.
Yeah,
You know
I think I agree with High Fire there.
Yeah.
I mean, even like the Rune, for example, I haven't played the Baltimore or the Ibuki or the Neptune or anything like that. But even like the Tier 9 battleships, like they don't punch up to Tier 10 very well. They're almost clones of Tier 10, just with some downgrades, but they don't punch up to Tier 10 well.
I'd like to see a range bump on the Tier 8 cruisers. And I'm not talking huge. 1 more kilometer, 1.5 more base, and then have that 1.5 extension. So they're hitting about 16 or 17, depending on it. I don't care about upgrading the guns. Just give them the range. Because right now, you have to practically get in the secondaries when you're rolling against the Bismarcks and bigger with the crazy secondaries. Or with the way the maps are designed, the islands are either super high or really shallow where you're not getting good cover. If I can't hit them from a range where I'm a little bit more maneuverable to dodge the shots, you get blown up. And it's just, that's my biggest frustration with my Norlands is I have to get in too close. And even with the range upgrade, it's still going to be super painful. So I'd love to see, don't change the guns, don't change the armor. They're a cruiser. I expect a big battleship to blow me out of the water if I'm dumb enough to hold still long enough and give them a good angle. Give me a 1.5 increase on my kilometer base and another 1.5 when I get the upgrade. So I can shoot 16, maybe 17 for the ones that are supposed to be a really long range cruiser shot.
Yeah, I
That'd be
see a
my
lot.
preference.
What I see a lot in chat is I see a lot of Tier 8 players that are like, why the hell do I play Tier 8? Because they're in a Tier 10 match.
So the thing that I don't agree with about Tier 8, I will agree Tier 8s have a really hard time punching up to Tier 10. They have a super hard time with it, especially if you're in a destroyer that isn't Japanese where you can just get super close. I think that the reason why I don't agree with Tier 8 is the tier that needs the most loving, and I think it's Tier 9, is because when you're Tier 8 and you're top tier, nothing can kill you.
Yeah,
Unless
no
you get
kidding.
focused. Nothing can kill you unless you're focused. And teams
Yeah.
don't know how to focus fire.
Actually,
No.
what's funny is all night tonight. You know, there's one class like line of ships none that we haven't even talked about. What do you guys think about the French line?
What's that?
French cruiser line? Yeah, yeah. We haven't mentioned them. I was like, and the tier I played up to Tier 5 in them, and then I kind of stopped. But I love the dispersion. How they have no vertical dispersion. Really, they're just all straight line, and their torpedoes are pretty badass. But I was like, we never even mentioned the French line.
So I have an opinion, but I'll let everybody else go first.
What was the question?
The French line. What do you think about the French line?
The first lower couple tiers, the mid tiers, and the French, you start fires left and right everywhere. But once you start getting up to the 9s and the 9 or not 9s, so 8 9s and 10s, it's a little bit of a struggle. I found this going on. I was streaming the other night, and it was just like I was having some epic rounds or whatnot, but it's like one tiny little mistake. Your French cruiser's gone. That's it, done. And it's like shit. So yeah, it's like yeah, there's nothing there. But then the fires and it's like fire here, fire there, fire there, fire there. I'm like yeah, cool. That's about it.
Wasn't it the gasoline when you first took it out? I know it's
gasoline.
One of my fire.
Yeah.
You peek the nose of the boat. Like that is all that was sticking out. Maybe 3 or 4 meters of the front of that boat. And I remember you ate 4 citadels from a BB from across the map. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like that's why I ate this boat.
You citadel on the propeller. Like
Yeah.
You shot the
awesome.
drive shaft. Oh, never mind. That
He had that concentrated look on his face, and then right when it happened, you watched his face contort into "I'm gonna lose my shit," and then he released a little bit, and then just what the
Was the power kegs in the bow or what, dude? Seriously.
Yeah.
So
I think the best
Campbelltown,
thing.
right? Yeah.
I think the best thing I've ever heard is Hotel get Citadel. What the hell, Wargaming? There's no Citadel there.
That happens about once a stream.
Shell
Okay.
lands in the water next to you. Citadel.
So
Where's that
speaking
signal
with
at?
the French of the new lines that have been added, such as like the German destroyers, the French cruisers, which of the new lines have you enjoyed the most?
I want to say my opinion about the French cruisers
Okay.
here real quick. The reason I like the French cruisers, like Highfire said, they light fires left and right, especially at your mid tier. The Emily Bertin and what's the one above it, and then the Algerie, they light fires left and right. What I don't like is while you can do metric but tons of damage in them, they are the least team-centric ship class in the game.
Yes.
Agreed.
They're a very greedy line. They
Mhm.
don't bring smoke to help. Their torps have a horrible reload, so you can't really threaten BBs to keep them from trying to push lines too easily. Yeah, they're very, very... They're essentially, it's an entire line of Atlantis, which their whole goal is, I'm just going to sit back and light a ton of fires and watch my numbers go up, and whatever you guys are doing, whatever. It's almost like an entire line of those.
Only difference is they're eating a baguette while they're doing it.
Exactly.
And then they surrender.
With the Atlanta, you got like a Philly
They're sipping wine
cheesesteak
like
or something
Hi-Fi
in your
over there.
hand. With that one, you're having a croissant.
Yeah.
Croissant.
So Baron, what you asked about the other lines?
So yeah, of the new lines, which ones have you enjoyed the most?
German destroyers.
German destroyers.
I want to go old school German battleships because
Yep.
they were in line from the original 2 really. Yeah, but I'd say German battleships, and then after that, I don't know, British cruisers were pretty fun. I haven't got too far.
Just voted French wine.
Well, there's a comment that came up on the chat, so I was giving him a little bit of a wine toss there. I would say the British cruisers actually have been the most fun so far. Been the rewarding the Fiji right around the last couple ranks before it was really good. I held on to the Fiji. The Edinburgh is a little bit of a tough nut to get because if you get tier 10s, and the Fiji you get like maximum tier 9s, and you can still do quite a bit of damage in the Fiji. The Edinburgh, though, when you're going up there, it's like you get those tier 10s and you get deleted easily.
Yep.
And so I don't know. The Neptune probably going to be the same way, but I haven't got there. But going for that Minotaur, if you don't got those guys in check, those guys will tear you apart if you're not if you don't check them. So
Yeah, I heard
I think
two
that-
Minotaurs are like a pissed off bulls in China shops. If you don't focus fire them or keep them on their side of the map, they will just start rampaging.
And they're
Which is
always
what's
in the
got me
same
excited is
division.
the push.
Every time when there's 2 Minotaurs, they're always in the same division. You're like, God damn it, no.
And the worst part is even with tier 9 aircraft planes, they just chew right through them. So I mean, you can't even strike them from above. It has to be from like battleships and other cruisers.
I can't wait for the British battleship line. Honestly,
Yeah, I
although
was gonna say, Highfire, have you tested those yet?
I haven't tested them, but I've heard some opinions on them, and then I think there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be a little bit disappointed on them because they everybody from back from beta was like, "Where's the Royal Navy? Where's the Royal Navy? Where's the Royal Navy?" And I've heard that the first lower tiers, the battleships are fairly armory, kind of trolley armory, just like
Yep,
the
they're
German
tanky.
stuff. But then the upper tiers don't have that armor. They use more of concealment. And if you look at their concealment, they're actually really good. You can fire a bunch of shells and then just probably scurry off and conceal back up, almost like a cruiser. Some of them are even better than cruisers. But it's going to take a certain gameplay, certain mentality for somebody to pull that off.
I think they're going to
Like-
make people who know how to use battleship concealment.
Mhm.
The British battleships are going to become ultra scary in their hands.
Okay,
Minus the dank.
I had an
trolley
encounter with
question on that too.
yeah.
Your thoughts, concealment expert on the Yamato. What the fuck, or all day long? Because
All day
Highfire
long.
asked us
All day long.
yesterday.
All day
All
long.
day long. All day long.
Why?
Yes.
Because
We were
otherwise you get
debating this
spotted
on
from the
Highfire's
moon.
channel.
Yeah, you get spotted by the moon if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to get it.
The Izuma right now I'm playing, and it gets spotted half across the map, and it annoys the shit out of me. So it's like I need to get this thing lower so it doesn't see it. I mean, I like to get closer to the cat before everybody lights me up.
Yep.
Concealment on battleships becomes far more and more key when you get into the high tiers, when you start getting the Kutuzovs that can shoot at 17.4? Is
Yep.
it 17.4 without the spotter plane? Something like that. When you get these HE
Shores is
spamming
17
ships.
with no plane, 21 with a plane, and the shores
There you
already.
go. So you get all these HE spammers who are fairly accurate at range, minus the Baltimore and the Des Moines. I mean, you have to be able to conceal yourself, otherwise you're going to get lit on fire constantly.
I had an
Awesome.
encounter with the Conqueror, actually. I was playing the Yamato, and this is like my 12th game with the Yamato, right? I'm just getting the hang of it. Because it is a difficult... after coming from the Izumo, it's a completely different animal. So you have to kind of get used to it. But I ran into a Conqueror. It was on the... Oh, god damn it. I can't remember what the one is. It's the one with the island on the far right that has the little channel you can go through to go to, D. It's a 4-cap.
North
Yeah.
and Northern Lights.
Yeah, Northern Lights, that's
Yeah.
what it is. So I was on Northern Lights, right? And in between on the sea cap, on the other side was a Conqueror, and it was hauling ass. I mean, it was a fast ship. And I hit it with 4 shells penetrated with the Yamato. 0 damage.
Oh.
And I was like,
Oh,
that was me in the chat. I don't ever complain in the chat, but I'm like, what? I'm not exactly shooting pea shooters here. This shell is the size of a small piece of cattle. Yeah, Volkswagen, and it did 0 damage with penetrations. If it ricocheted, maybe I'd understand. I don't know about the British, battleships at that time, but holy crap!
I wouldn't really want to be in the vicinity
Wargaming
of
needs to
those
fix
those
the 0 damage
Volkswagen.
pen problem.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's terrible. I just
We had
imagine
another question in chat, it looked like.
Yeah,
I'm
it says, what is the most essential commander skill for each ship type?
Bismarck is manual secondaries, and expanding the range. I personally use the shortened range increased speed on torpedoes for destroyers, depending on what the range is. If it's like 7 kilometers, I don't do it. But if it's a 10-kilometer torpedo, I'll bring it in to have those be faster torpedoes.
I've heard what you have. You raised your hand,
I
sir.
would say, I mean, the first couple skills on battleship cruisers and destroyers is either if you want to know how many people are looking at you and or don't want your turns to get knocked out, that's the survivability. But case in point, battleships, cruisers, the turret rotation is a must. Also, your destroyers for your superintendent and also for your battleships, they're a must. And concealment expert for your destroyers. Each individual class has their must. And I think its superintendent actually is used a lot, even with the higher tier cruisers, the battleships, destroyers. Superintendent seems to be like the most common one for almost every ship.
I think universally, minus carriers, I think concealment expert is needed on almost every single ship except for the Bismarck and the Tirpitz. And I don't know why you would do this, but a secondary spec in Eisenhower.
Yeah.
I think that the most important skill for a destroyer obviously is the one that where you can not preventative maintenance, but the one that last stand. There we go. Thank
Last
you,
stand.
AC Wheels.
Yep.
And then concealment expert. But for battleships, adrenaline rush.
Yep.
I think.
Now, see,
I think
that's
on
where-
destroyers too, especially your Japanese destroyers, where you can take a couple of hits but then get undetected. That brings your torpedo reload down so much, and that's why I love the German destroyers, just because their torpedo reload is so quick.
Now, see, Kevin, that's why I have to disagree with you. With carriers, concealment is a must right after air supremacy.
Okay, for American carriers, sure.
Yeah.
For any carriers, because
For any.
you never fire any guns.
The second you get spotted, I suppose.
Yeah.
As you get spotted, everybody shoots at you. The whole
Exactly.
mine thing.
Yep, exactly what happened.
Oh yeah.
That is a
When
must
I
for carriers.
first got into Tier 4 and I discovered aircraft carriers, I was so horrible. And you guys, Cater, Hotel, possibly you guys probably all remember how bad I was. Like, where are you going? I got to go find the carrier. You're a battleship. I got to go find the carrier. And I would just cut right across the middle. I'm like, screw that guy in his planes. He's going to die. They're like, they're in their lines. I'm like, I found the carrier. He'll go down. It'll be better for the team. And all of you guys will be yelling at me in displays and Discord. Khreegor, get back here. I'm like,
oh yeah.
saw a squirrel and I'm just chasing that thing. I still to this day will do it in a DD. If that thing blips on my map, I'm like, cap. Ooh, CV.
So, AZ Wheels asked, "What about IFHE on DDs?" Personally, I would say never.
Never.
GDs?
Never.
Yeah.
No, I'd never do it.
I tried this on like when it first came out on like a Farragut, and I was doing a pretty good amount of damage, but there was no fire. Period. Because the Farragut only has like maybe 5 or even 3% chance of fire. So
Yeah, it's not
when
very
you take
high.
the
at all.
ISF, the inert fuse, it was doing a consecutive amount of damage for ships that were right in front of me, but there was no fire. There was no chance. Nothing. And then when you're firing at something like that and you get those little fires, then you can break off and whatnot. So no,
I tried it on
wouldn't-
the British line and I was not impressed with it. I tried it early on. So I was like, oh, this thing doesn't have fire. Let me stick it on there. And
I haven't put it on any of my secondary builds for the Germans, but because of that multiplication on their penetration, what is it? The Germans have a ×4 for the armor pen. So if you go inertia fuses on like a Bismarck and you're hitting a Yamato, you're gonna pen in the front. Like I watched freaking what's his name, Jingles. I watched Jingles do it. He took it into the test and he did a circle around a Yamato and just ate it up.
I think Kevin disagrees. Hotel Kilo?
You don't.
You put
don't get that-
IFHE on a battleship, I will personally take you out back and throw you in a dumpster.
Threat has been detected.
Tell us how you really feel on that one. Like he looking angry at that beer now.
Well, I haven't done it. I did put Adrenaline Rush on instead. So I put Adrenaline Rush on my secondary build, which really helps.
I think a must-have for Tier 4, Concealment Expert on a cruiser. It's really easy, especially when you're first learning cruisers, to get a little bit hypey. As soon as you start landing citadels on other cruisers, you'll want to hunt them. You'll start to over-push yourself, and being able to stop shooting for 5 seconds. And like on my British ones, all of a sudden that thing just drops in like I'm a damn DD. I've got that thing so tight with ammo. Huge. So I think Concealment Expert is just as important on a cruiser as it is for DDs
Absolutely.
for survivability. And stop shooting for a minute.
Yep.
You don't have to keep those guns constantly going. Like firing, repositioning. Cruisers are very much a long range. I'm going to light you on fire sniper. And that skill helps so much.
Yeah. Stopping shooting for just a minute to like reposition or to just stealth up, that can win you a game because you're alive.
Right.
Well, that is unless there's an aircraft carrier spotting you, then you're screwed.
Well,
Same thing if you have to turn around too in a cruiser. If you have to like flip around on the other map or so on a cruiser, you'd want to stop firing. Because if you flip around and show broadside to 3 or 4 battleships, you're going to be gone. So you probably want to stop shooting for a little bit, flip around, and then come around and go, hey, surprise, I'm still here.
Yeah, you get their little Spidey sense marker that goes ding, ding, ding. 3 what? Oh, 3 citadels. That's what I count that now. When I'm broadside of my cruiser trying to turn, I count every number that ticks up as 1 citadel that's on its way.
Yep. That's true.
So we've been talking about a lot of ships, and one thing that this game has is premium ships. Would you guys recommend a premium ship to anyone, and if so, which one?
I hate that I have to say this, but
Yep. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it, buddy. Come on.
the Belfast and the Kuchezov.
Oh, that's what I was hoping for.
I absolutely hate it, but I have
Yep.
to. I mean, if you want to learn carriers, buy the Saipan. It is the most forgiving, noob-friendly carrier in the game.
Oh, it
But it's
absolutely is.
hold on, Jason. Hang on there, possibly.
Here we go.
Hang on here. But in the hands of a very skilled player,
It
the
is scary as
Saipan
shit.
is scary. Jason is a monster in the Saipan. In fact, I think the only carriers he gets beat by
Hold on,
in the
hold
Saipan?
on. We can't fit his head in frame anymore. His ego just blew up too big.
the only thing he gets beat by is another Saipan or a very good what's the tier 7 Japanese CV?
Zuiho?
Uh,
No.
Zuyo. No, that's not the Zuyo.
No.
Ryujo.
Ryujo.
No, that's a tier 6.
Ryujo's tier 6? Yeah, it is tier 6.
The hero?
Oh, hell. That's
Hiryu?
it. Hiryu, yeah. Hiryu.
The hero.
Yeah, the one
A
that
good one.
And even then, it's still few and far between for Hiryus. The only thing
Shikaku
that's
is pretty
close.
good too.
Well, I
Kaga.
mean, yeah.
My
Saga?
2 premiums I would suggest buying, because I will never condone the purchase of Atlanta, because that just automatically makes you a scumbag, would either be the Belfast, which I love, or my other absolute favorite, which Hotel actually got me. It was my first premium ever I got. It was a birthday from Hotel Kilo. The Arizona.
You're welcome for that, by the way.
If you want to learn, if you like battleships, that is a great one. It's not a higher tier one like the shiny horse, but the Arizona is such a cool ship to play, and historically it's pretty
Kind
cool
of
one.
nostalgia to have, right? Kind of like you want that because of nostalgia. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like that's kind of why I wanted to get the Enterprise at first. I was like, oh, I'll get the, I wanted to check it out, but I haven't played carriers in a while.
He's full
Yeah.
of shit. He's
Oh,
got
you're
3
missing out.
Starfleet uniforms in his closet. That's why he wanted the Enterprise.
No. That honestly,
Sir,
that-
there's
the-
a Borg image over your
Yeah,
shoulder
there is.
that's not in the picture frame. Don't give
Yeah.
me none of that.
No, but that's not why. The Gray Ghost is a badass. The Big E, man, that's the most decorated warship in air history. I think it's more than the Missouri actually. It's a very, very famous ship. I just wanted to get it for that, But for me, premium ship, Kamikaze. It's fun. It's really fun to play. It's OP, but it's fun.
Not gonna be able to get those anymore though.
Or the Kamikaze are for that matter.
That the Fujin, the Kamikaze, the sister ships for the Minakaze have been plucked. They've been removed. I don't think you'll be able to ever get them, just like the Glirmiachi. The other thing is, if everybody does not know this already, the Koenig Albert is going to be removed permanently.
Yeah, because
So-
it's OP as fuck.
Yeah, that's pretty. Just like the Nikolai, you're not gonna be able to get the Nikolai anymore too. So that's overpowered. So you guys, if you guys have the ability to purchase the Koenig Albert, go ahead and do it. I picked it up when it was like 50% off on gold. Two ships that I recommend if they ever come back on sale too. The Scharnhorst is an extremely good, fun ship to get
Yes,
into.
it is,
It's easy.
absolutely.
Has your torpedoes for backup. Has a really good reload rate. Catches fires. And you can get your AP rounds on the cruisers. Does a significant amount of damage. I've been called a hacker with it. And the Błyskawica.
Błyskawica, yeah.
Błyskawica. You really like your destroyer plays. Again, 2 tier 7s, which I mentioned earlier. The tier 7, I think, is my best tier on it. But yeah, the Błyskawica and the Scharnhorst are by far the 2 that I would recommend.
Yeah, you do naughty things in your Błyskawica. That was actually the first game I ever saw Hi-Fi when I was first getting. I'm like, all right, let's watch some guys, and that's the first time I saw him. It's like, all right, guys, we do some Błyskawica. I feel like just being mean right about now. I was like, all right, let's see what he can do with this thing, and he just melted people. I'm like, okay, I want that boat, and then I didn't know what a premium was at the time. Later on, I'm like, I paid for it. Screw that.
The Dunkirk's really fun. I got to play it over at it's a pretty fun one. It's unique. It's a very unique battleship. It's got really weird angles. It's got small, fast-firing guns. It's a battleship cruiser. It's like the opposite of the Grafspee, in my opinion. But yeah, I like that one.
Yeah,
Me
it's a tanky
personally-
cruiser.
Me personally, I'd go. Since most people will start off with the American line, go with the Texas. That's a strong ship. It's got really good AA. And of course, if you want to get into carriers, Saipan. Always Saipan.
I would recommend the Texas for one, but anybody that's new to the game should have an invite code that will get the Texas for free.
Yep.
Yeah, should.
That's true. That's very true.
Well, and if anybody hops into any one of our streams, we can always throw them a link so they can eventually unlock it.
Oh yeah.
Refer a friend. I mean,
Yeah.
any one of us will kick that out to someone in an instant.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, heck, it's an automatic timer for me.
Yep.
So,
Man, for me too.
speaking of your guys' streams, there's a question we missed earlier. What got you guys into streaming, and how long you been streaming for?
I'll take the lead on this one here.
Alright.
I've been on Twitch since 2012, and
Wow.
before that, actually, I went to live stream on Xfire. I was kind of experimenting with Xfire's live streaming when I was playing World of Tanks, and did it right. I wanted to stream back in Battlefield 2, and then also when I was EVE Online, I was streaming 2,000 man engagements, and I got in trouble for it because I was like, "Where's this leak coming from? It's live streaming somewhere." And I was like, "Holy shit! I gotta turn this thing off." Anyhow, so I got into Twitch. I didn't take it very serious. I started trying to stream like football games. Got in trouble for that. Trying to stream LAN parties because they were like LAN parties, gaming events and stuff like that. I got taken down for that a few times. Up to about 2 years ago, I was like, well, I should probably take this a little more serious. What can I do? Got on the ships, couple objectives on ships. I was like, I'm not going to use any free experience. I'm not going to use any gold for free experience on that. I'm just going to grind every single line like I did in World of Tanks was doing, and basically try to do every single day. And now, when I first started streaming, though, I had an evening schedule. I worked evening. So I had 2 hours in the morning to get the stream out and then go to work. It was just 2 hours, but it was every day. So every day was on and on. And this last year, now I stream in the evening time. Why did I get into streaming? I somehow, when I'm on the battlefield or so, I wanted to show like people what to do and not to do. And like if they can pick up on what I do, maybe they can make them better players, rather than being just, I won't say idiots, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Potatoes.
A lot of people come into my stream and go, "Whoa, dude, how'd you do that? Why did you do that?" And then they pick up on that and they become better players on their side. So it makes me feel good to know that they're picking up on stuff that I do to make them better players.
Yeah, I mean, I'll echo that. Higher fire. The reason why for me is that educational aspect. I mean, obviously there's the entertainment aspect of that, but
I'm still working on that.
Yeah. Hey, man. Come on now. The quacks are real. The quacks are real. All right. But as far as when did I start streaming, I started streaming last July. And it was just kind of, you know what? I kind of just want to give this a try, see if I enjoy it or not. And then I really started picking up kind of over kind of the holiday break from work.
And we harassed him too.
2.5 weeks off. That's when I met Khreegor, possibly maybe D4 Baron. I met all those guys then. Then I took another 3-month break, set a hard schedule in early June that I'm still using today. And I got affiliated on July 3rd after one of my stream mates, Torben, is it 157, I think?
Yep.
He got hosted by Flamu. So.
Yeah, you guys blew up. Didn't you get Clyde the monkey hooked you up, and then Flamu hit him, and you guys
Clyde
were
the
doing a
monkey
multi-stream,
hit me
and so
up,
just
and then
overflowed.
So during that day we were doing a dual stream or a multi-stream. Torben got hit by Flamu for 400 and some viewers. I got hit by Clyde the monkey for about 90 viewers, and then 2 weeks later I got hit by Flamu with another 500 viewers.
Oh wow.
So so
Wish I was that lucky. Jeez.
High Fire's hosted me a couple of times with 20, 30 viewers too. So I guess I owe a lot of my
really
success
talked the
to
man
other
down
people.
on that one.
About 1 year into my streaming, I had like paper boards or whatnot for the green screen, and I don't know what I was doing at that time. All of a sudden, some reason my viewer count went to like 4,000. I'm like, where is this coming from? Who actually hosted me? What's going on? And it was a blip, and it only lasted for like 3 seconds or 4 seconds, and it was like poof, gone. And ever since then, when I look at my stats, there's this huge peak when I first started streaming. I'm like, where is this peak at? 4,000 viewers, and then it's gone. I'm like, everything else from then, it's like, that's it. So, don't make a mistake somewhere.
Yep.
For mine for streaming probably started, which is kind of funny because they're hosting a panel on it this year at PAX called I Went to PAX and Now I Stream.
Right.
I wish I could say it was some crazy inspirational thing, but we were sitting down to eat, and I had been joking with Baron for a while because they run the Defortification YouTube channel and they create stuff on and off, and I'll pitch ideas. And I looked over, and this table of all people I wanted to drown in their own vegan salad dressing. I'm like, oh my God. And then like these 3,000 viewers, I'm like, you are the people I hate. But I want to do that to prove that you could do this and have an intelligence level higher than your own shoe size.
Oh my God, yes.
As bad as that sounds, and I want to say it was something else. I was like, okay, let's see what's out there. Let's have fun. That's why I finally broke down and tried Warships. I'm like, okay, I'm having fun with this. And I went out and looked at some of the streams, and I came across Highfire's stream, and I saw a couple other ones I liked, and I was watching. Before that, I just strictly watched like the League of Legends esports stuff, and moderated for a few of the bigger streamers over there. Not like the crazy guys. I'm not like I'm a cutie pie mod or anything awesome like that would be. But like the non-contracted ones, queued up the stream, and I was getting just the guys here, Hotel, and possibly somehow on a drunken night when I'm going to throw a follow at this guy, and they still regret it to this day.
Confirmed.
What after
Just kidding.
on my birthday, or not even birthday vacation, was before that was the holiday vacation around Christmas. I was streaming, and Ibiho actually gave me my first host, and he apparently got sick midstream, and he had about 90 people. He was like, hey, here's a cool dude, smaller one. Let's give some support to the small community. And all of a sudden I see Ho Train get spammed across my channel. I'm like, Ho Train? What? Am I getting like DDoS or something by a Ho Train? What is this? Because everybody started spamming it, and Twitch was delayed, or my bot was delayed. Also, it's like, you've been hosted by Ibiho, 92 viewers. I'm like, holy crap! That's awesome. What the hell's a host? Because the bigger streamers I'd always watched never got hosted. They didn't need it. They got like 6,000 people. And so he had to tell me what a host was. I'm like, dude, that is amazing. I've never been hosted. He's like, sweet boys, we just took another cherry. I was like, awesome. Got a ton of extra viewers out of that one. Like 4 or 5 days later, because I think one of the viewers was Highfire's recommended, hey, go host this guy. He's streaming, and Highfire was logging out, and he kicked over, and now I'm almost up to 200 viewers, a bunch of regulars. I got affiliate the day they launched the affiliate program because I'd already hit the metrics.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm just in the 200 push for the free giveaway of boats eventually. It'll be my first giveaway.
All right. About you, possibly?
Yep.
Well, I got mine. And I blame Hotel for this because he's the one that got me into it.
Blame?
Yep, this is all your fault.
I think you should be blaming him for putting up with you, not the other way around.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Well, I actually, I used to stream StarCraft 2 on and off, but due to a stressful work schedule of working 3 jobs, I had to quit streaming and basically quit gaming altogether for about a year. And I got back into it because Hotel wanted me, he's like, hey, it's fun, you should try it. Why not? If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. And eventually I ended up trying it. And I started playing carriers. It's more educational because people don't see carriers played and stream that often. I mean, it's a rarity.
Very true.
Yeah.
So, I started playing it on and off and started streaming. And because of work, I can't hold a steady schedule, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But, I really enjoy it. So I really just started streaming seriously this year. Probably about, 2-3 months ago. I really started seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks to the multi-streams, I'm right up to 94 followers, so pretty excited about that.
So if you guys haven't followed me yet, go break that triple-digit cherry for him.
Hey, man.
He's doing a giveaway, too.
Yes, giving away a free Texas with 7 days premium, 500,000 credits, and...
Well, you just got to hang out with another one of the more popular Warship streamers, the one that kicks off when the rest of us are going to bed, didn't you? You and Rest21 hung out.
Yep,
at the D-Day event.
We did.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a lot of fun.
I saw that amazing bag you got that don't show Highfire because he'll probably be as jealous as I am.
I am jealous.
Actually, if you see it, it's hanging right here, right above my head.
With your name screen printed on it. It's actually a high quality freaking laptop satchel bag.
Yep,
like they got hooked up.
Oh damn!
We got hooked up.
Yeah, both in the face.
But see, this is the best part about that is we actually asked for some extra codes to give away in our streams, and they gave us in our bag. We got like $20 worth of concession vouchers. So, in these little pamphlets that they gave us with these free codes was $20 worth of concession stuff, and I got, what was it, 3 or 4 extra pamphlets. So I was able to go out, and they had the cash in them, like the gift cards. So I went around and bought a couple pops and got like $8 in change back. I ended up taking home like $27.
Good old wargaming.
All right.
Yep.
So,
And
Cater.
then, if you guys are up late, by the way, tomorrow night, Highfire tomorrow morning is kicking off his 24-hour 2,000 viewer stream. So make sure if you haven't given him some love yet, pop in and help him stay awake.
I would love 2,000 viewers, but
I'll jump
2,000
followers. Sorry. Well, technically, sir, you've had 4,000 viewers for
Yeah,
3
you might
seconds.
need a
One
couple,
time.
a couple
Yeah.
dozen
Because somebody
more mods.
mistyped a name.
No, I know, right? There was at one point or another. Yeah. But yeah, I'm kicking off 9 a.m. tomorrow Pacific time to 9 a.m. Wednesday. Giving away 3D premiums every 2 hours, and this is going to go for World of Tanks, World of Warships on the C server, North American server, and also the EU server. I'm able to get the premiums on all of those. It may not be coming from me, but that's at least you get it. But every 2 hours or so, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah, that's for
So
that's
I'll
for
set a
2000.
timer while I'm at work.
There you go.
All right.
I'll pop in after I'm off work. Definitely, I'll check it out. Yeah.
So, Cater, we've been streaming for how long now?
Well, let's see. I originally started. D4 Cater didn't originally. I started off on the deportification channel, and then I carried over to D4. And when I did it, I was playing Warships throughout the whole time, but I was tossing in other games in the middle of it. And then like what happened with Possibly was like, job schedule change, so I had to kind of cut off for a while. I'm getting back into it now more, but for me, the reason why I got into streaming is the community, like playing our 9-player multi-division jump in, and one team is always by themselves getting their ass kicked by by 6 of their friends, and I'm always on that other team. It's like me and Edge are always over there against you guys.
I think
Every
Edge
time.
was always the common denominator.
Yeah, because he's always rolling with
Edge.
me. And like we went dual Bayerns, we're like, well, if we're gonna go in here, we're gonna tank from the front because that's all we can do, because we know they're gonna just focus fire us. But that the community was just having the multiple. And it started off on YouTube, but that content carried over because all that personality just, you guys all brought something to the table as far as your styles.
I think what's kept me streaming is that community, not just the people I play with, like Possibly and Khreegor every once in a while, but it's the community that my chat is.
Right.
Like, I think it's the viewers. Like when the viewers are engaged and they're doing their own thing or they're being super interactive with you, that's what makes streaming super fun, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I think that's the other big one for me is when I'm playing a game and there's nobody else around, I'll get bored really, really easy. And when I get bored, I start doing just stupid crap. Like, not just bad plays, but I'll just be like, whatever, I don't care. But when I have somebody, even just 2 people pop in and ask a couple of questions, it just takes that fun level to a whole new thing, which is why I have fun streaming Warships. It's got a really good community, especially across all of us that have been multi-streaming with each other so much. We get people bounce back and forth. They can hear the stupid stuff Hotel did, or hey, you should have watched Possibly. He's trying to do this, and out of nowhere, 2 kamikazes just popped out from behind an island to give surprise torp sex.
You need to not even talk about that kind of stuff.
So when,
Oh,
Question.
no. I get
Yeah.
told all the time. Gibson tells me.
can we take like a 1 or a 2 minute break?
Yeah.
Since Highfire is as well, I don't feel like it's fair to leave him out of it, but I also need to risk like a pace horse. So
Wrist like a piss horse.
Wrist like a piss
How do you wrist
That was
like a piss
intentional.
horse? Okay. Yeah, we take a quick 5, guys, and then we'll be right back.
I think I
was
love
gonna-
Annie.
I was gonna grab my lanyard from
I
TwitchCon.
have seen you bear
have the bleed
Tibbers.
purple. I have the bleed
Nice.
purple pen.
I've got Tibbers.
If I was gonna do anything in San Diego, any one of the cons in San Diego, screw San Diego Comic Con, I'd love to go to TwitchCon. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be at TwitchCon
Don't
too.
mention that one, because I already got a little bit of a right act from Highfire why I wasn't going to TwitchCon.
I won't go this year, probably next year. But no, I got one of the pins I got was the World of Warships pin, which
Oh.
is I got that
Really?
one. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
So if Wargaming is at
I just
PAX
have
this
that.
year, we're definitely going to be trying
Interviewing
to get as
them?
much. Yeah, interviewing them. We have some questions for them. Going to be trying to get anything we can for giveaways to come back with. Do the fall.
You know what you
stream
should do if they're there and you get an interview.
Yeah.
Just because I want to make them feel uncomfortable and put it in front of the camera, you should do a guest reporter for that one and see if you get Hi-Fi to do the interview for you.
Oh, by the way, guys, after this is over, I will be streaming for a couple hours. So
Awesome.
Wow, selfless.
Yeah.
selfless, man. Selfless.
Generally, when Wargaming does show up, it's actually like either Meathead Militia, he was there last year. He's the one that does the tanks, and then is it Trezor? Trevzor. So if anything for World of Warships is there, they might be there. But yeah, like I said, they did the crushing thing last year, and then they had the USS Missouri that was all Legoed out. But
Yeah,
then
that
they only
cool.
had like a stand.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah, the couple
That's
years
the card from the
beforehand,
Missouri.
when I was there, they actually at that point they were promoting warplanes, and so they had all the computers laid out. You could go out and play. They're giving away like steampunk goggles. Like, they had a
I
lot of
liked that game. I did like the game. Okay, I got scrutinized because when I was playing tanks, and I went to go over World of Warplanes, and the World of Warplanes, it's very altitude dominant, where like ships is like tiers, altitude dominant, and not a lot of people knew about that or how to compensate or how to work with it. So it's just like a different spatial awareness. And then when I went back to tanks, they're like, go back to your World of Warplanes. I'm like, what the fuck? Come on, man.
Like, don't be hating.
I know, right?
Up for maybe 2 weeks after PAX 1, so the British boats are out. We've had enough time to test those and have something to talk about on those ones too.
Oh yeah. We're gonna do kind of like. I'd say
Hi-Fi, would you be up for doing this again?
Let me tell you what's going on here. So we have September 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, obviously is PAX. September 11th is my birthday, so I'm not going to be streaming on Monday. Maybe not, likely, but we'll probably be doing like a Sunday stream for that. But 18th, 2 weeks from now.
18th works for
3
me.
weeks.
Possibly.
3 weeks.
3 weeks from now, 18th?
18th. Hold on. Let me check, Lottie.
Fine, you ain't got no prior engagements. we all know this one. You are. He's like, let me look as he's flipping through Tinder real quick.
He's actually engaged. He's actually engaged.
This is
Well, then he
true.
shouldn't be looking through
that's right.
Tinder, should he?
No shit, you get in trouble. She gotta walk in.
I'm
I don't
actually
know if you
looking to
guys
see if that's
She
a work
set
night
up
or
any
not.
plans for you?
If you follow any particular female streamers and stuff, they will put the Tinder up there on live stream it, and your viewer audience will say what to say to them if they get a match.
Oh wow.
It's actually very hilarious.
The 18th of September should work for me, guys. I think
The only female streamers I'll
Don't
actually
find the
watch
wrong Viper
is
blade.
Fem. She's the only one that doesn't make me want to stab myself in the face. And she is a freak of nature with carriers.
Dude,
Fem,
I don't-
she's unreal.
You don't watch
I hope I never get
Casey
matched
Tron
against her.
anymore, sir?
I just like to introduce people to CaseyTron just to see their reactions, just like I did giving a hard time to Kilotron. Why did you let him pick that name?
I didn't pick the name. You had that before Caseytron came around.
Yeah, well, he's... All right,
know.
let's go ahead and go live. We'll let everybody know we're here for another half hour.
Oh no, we've
Yeah.
been live for the last 5 minutes.
We've been
Oh.
live.
You're stuffing your jerky in my mouth. We're making
Does
fun of him. Talking about CaseyTron.
We've been live since Cater sat back down.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll,
Jesus.
my pin's in a shadow box somewhere. It's buried right now. We moved in here, and I don't know where the box is, but it's in there. I have one.
Yeah, guys, check your Wargaming Twitch schedule. Fem is actually on Wargaming's channel now.
Oh nice.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah,
She
that
has,
is awesome.
she has to carve out time for it. She's streaming her carriers and stuff on Wargaming.
That's
She
awesome.
is so good.
Dude, yeah. I mean,
Nice.
I hope I get matched against her, but then again, I don't.
You're like, "Ah, this
Or
is
her
awesome."
slogan on there says that I'm the CV player that you don't want to see on the other side.
Yep.
Well, her and Farazelleth.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
So, kind of getting back to the questions, Khreegor had a really good one earlier today. He wanted me to ask. He goes, "What's the best piece of advice you've given to other players and then never follow yourself?"
Let's see. Don't get too close to the enemy, and I play a destroyer, and I wholly don't follow that.
My best piece of advice was one that was given to me, and I preach it like it's gospel. And then if you ever watch my stream, I am horrible about following it, which is always have your escape plan figured out, which gets yelled at me from Nerd Rage Hulk, one of my mods. If you ever see a guy named Stamps with a Z across from you,
Damn it,
run.
Stamps!
Yeah,
If he stamps against you, just bend over, grab your ankles, and kiss your ass goodbye.
Hey, I've beat Stamp once, okay?
Oh, I've
In the Conan.
deleted stamps
We've all
numerous
done it
times,
once.
but
Yeah.
We've all
Every
done-
time I die, I'll look at the chat, and usually the message that comes across was, "And what did we forget?" Always have an escape plan. Did you have one? I did for 2 plays back. What about that play? All right, guys, always make sure you have an escape plan. Never forget your escape plan. High Fire, you were looking deep in thought on that one, sir.
Just being too aggressive. You know me, I'm fairly really aggressive, and when I look back and I see him like half my team is all in the back, I'm going, yeah, don't do what I do, but I do it anyways.
Yep.
Don't follow me in a bitch when you get killed by citadels, but I'm going to charge you to get killed by citadels. Like gasoline.
Don't show your broadside. Don't show your broadside. I showed my broadside. Don't do that.
Right.
Yep.
yeah, I think
know,
one thing that I do that I tell my viewers or that I would just recommend to any player not to do is that overextending bit, especially in ships that you shouldn't be pushing in. If your entire team is being passive, you have to try and find some way to generate that spark. But if you do it foolishly, which I do all the damn time, you're gonna die. And then you get super salty at your team, which happens all the time, and yeah.
Yeah, Flamboy's
Yeah, it's-
there.
It's usually the guy. Have you ever noticed it's usually the guy that's dead that's griping about how everybody else is on the team, right?
Well, there's
It's
a
always
difference between griping and trying to help the team along. There's the guy who's just like, oh, this team's full of goddamn potatoes, and sorry, I did not mean to see the GD thing, but there's those guys who just
we're mature. You're good.
they complain, but there's also the other side of that is the guy who's just like, okay, Yamato, you need to go to C. Bismarck, you need to avoid the other Yamato and flank around to get around him, so go to A. Something like that. There's the difference between just the bitcher and the guy who's looking at this from the wider view, trying to get the tactics across to the team.
Right, because the guy with the wider
Possibly
view,
what's
once you're
yours?
dead, you can see the map. You have a much better view.
I think I can speak for everybody when it's beware of your surroundings as we all beat ourselves.
Pull a
It's
Notzer.
tactical. It's a
Pull a
tactical
Notzer.
thinking.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was High Fires or whose stream I heard it in first, but I did not beach myself. It was a tactical grounding to avoid
tactical
torpedoes.
Tactical grounding my butt.
The torps that never arrived.
Or my other favorite statement, you mean this isn't where the barbecue is supposed to be?
Oh, right.
Shit! All right, let me go try the other beach. I'll be right back.
For all the crap you gave me, you're like, Baron, why are you running away? I'm like, I'm not. Strategically repositioning myself.
Yeah. On this beach to pick up all the babes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's in a battleship when it takes you 15 minutes to get off that goddamn beach. That's the worst part. A destroyer, you're like, oh, okay, now I can recover. Battleship, you're like, oh, here it comes.
Good capture there, Mr. Trin. At HotelKiloActual. This team is full of goddamn potatoes, 2017. That is now an official quote.
So, also, one of the questions we had earlier when we were talking about streaming as a whole, you're asked, you get every once in a while you get those hosts, you get those players, those viewers dumped onto you. How do you go about getting them to come back?
I think it's all about being yourself. Honestly,
as usual.
Be
It's all
yourself.
as usual.
Be yourself. Don't try to. I've seen. Okay, when you go to watch other streamers, very successful streamers, they actually have some very elaborate way of putting up shields because they're getting raided, kind of thing. So because there's raiding is where you're hosting from a channel that a bunch of viewers are coming from, and all of a sudden your regulars are becoming like, where's all these new people coming from? Put up the shields and stuff. Well, obviously you're not putting up shields because you're kind of welcoming them, but it's kind of the same concept. Like all of a sudden you're just getting a bunch of people that are being dropped on you. So you can go elaborate. You can go pretty far, and I've seen other streamers do this. But if you go that far and then you're not entertaining afterwards, you're gonna they trickle off. So you just got to be you.
Yep.
And I know from when I was going to follow up to earlier is that I know the feeling of getting rated. I know the feeling of getting hosted myself. And as a custom for me, I go and host somebody else after my stream. Usually it's the person that's below me, meaning like if I have like 25 viewers, somebody down below has like 5. Oh, here I go. Here comes the 25 viewers. Go on that channel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beans.
Beans. Yeah.
Khreegor's on.
It's the first when I went into High Fire's chat. The first thing he said, he's like, "Oh,
NA 2017."
Yeah. When I went into High Fire's chat, he's like, "That's got to be his gimmick." Because like, oh, Khreegor being boozled. Holy crap! Yeah, I was like, it was smart. That's gonna be your thing. You don't have a choice. He almost puked the other day. That was great.
I did.
Kind
of funny. And my wife thought this was just hilarious because on my channel, for those of you who haven't tuned in before or hung out, whenever we've hit one of the benchmarks, I do 3 follows, 300 bits or subs, or host of 10 or more people. I'll do the Bean Boozle challenge. But I had, for some reason, my headset wasn't plugged in, and I hopped into High Fire stream and I queued up, as he calls it, it's my official anthem, a song I always cue when I pop in. Regis Smidir from Tyr, a Norwegian metal band. And as soon as he heard it, he goes, "Hey, Khreegor's here. Guys, you got to check him out." He gave me a shout out. He's like, he does the Bean Boozle Challenge. And he ran through all the things I do for him. And if his wife's in the room, it's even better because she's here dying laughing in the background. She's like, have I become so popular with my laughter that some other streamer on Twitch saw your name and is telling people all about me? I'm like, yes. She's like, oh, yeah. Okay. And she left. And about 30 minutes later, she came back with more refill packs for this damn thing. I thought I was almost out. I'm like, yeah, we're almost out of beans. They're going to start to die off. She's like, nope, we're getting more.
You got some
more. Yes.
Yep.
High Fire, whenever he does the multi-stream with Kilotron, his cousin who's going to be streaming soon.
So guess who I have a guest streamer coming up in November around Thanksgiving. Do you guys remember that a guy that's on my channel called Mental Short Circuit?
You're getting Short Circuit's going to multi-stream?
My dad is going to be up here for a week.
That's your dad?
What? Yeah, my dad. Short Circuit's my dad.
With all the crap you flip him, I didn't realize that was your dad.
That's why he gets all the.
I grind him. Yes, it's like, dude, you got to be on a better ship. Come on. Yeah,
it all makes sense. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, he's gonna be up here in November. So, yeah.
Oh yes. I will save up bits to make your dad vomit. We almost got your cousin to puke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, they also got to mention that now.
Bonfire will vomit when we are done.
Well, Khreegor, you're in trouble because your wife keeps going on and watching commercials day after day after day. Because every Friday, she has about 1,500 bits to drop on you.
She does. 1,500 bits every Friday. For getting commercials randomly. She's just doing stuff around the house. She'll go over, burn through the commercials. Because she challenged one of our other regulars to try and kick her out of the top spot, and they keep going back and forth. So she went, fine, 1,500. That's 6 beans in a row, just beam, 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 beam. The last one was spoiled milk.
Favorite.
I had to swallow it back down. I almost lost a keyboard and my mouse and all my other stuff.
He started turning green. Like, is that the green screen or?
Because Edge was like, Edge can't handle that. Like, he's like, anytime Khreegor gets close, he's like, I can't look, and starts to like leave the room.
He started to run out of the room. Yeah. So that's being memorable. Is one thing I try, and that's what's gotten people to keep coming back. You know, you'll get a big spike, you'll see 1 or 2 falling off, but like I first said, stay yourself, be memorable. Don't ignore your regulars just because there's a ton of more people.
Oh, yeah.
I try to make it a point when I get a whole bunch and the spam starts rolling in the chat, still look for those names that you know that are going to be there tomorrow and you're guaranteed, and make sure you acknowledge them. Still throw some jokes with them to show your personality to everybody else, but make them want to stay and know that, hey, tomorrow or 4 months down the road, you know, Khreegor or High Fire or Hotel Kilo or any of the guys will always pay attention when I pop in. That's probably a big one. Let them know that you appreciate them. And sometimes I see a lot of the big streamers like, hey, thanks for something. I'm not even going to try that. I'll at least try your name. I will destroy your name sometimes. High Fire will try to do it. It's hilarious watching him trying to read some of the bits and play at the same time. Knowledge people.
I think apart from just being yourself, the other important part is being connected with your chat. Like High Fire probably knows this, and I know I've experienced it when I got that host from Flamu. When your chat is rolling, it's hard to stay connected, but you need to try and stay as connected to your chat as you can while actually still being able to play the game. I think that's the two most important parts. Stay connected and active with your chat, especially if your chat is active and you're small. And then be yourself.
The hardest part.
The thing about being yourself is people can pick out when you're being fake. People can pick that out like that.
Oh, like you right now.
Full shtick. Like you go like
what?
Full on. Oh god, the glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, that is actually a reward you can earn if you turn in enough flames. He'll wear those butt ugly 80s glasses for an hour. Hey, but you know, if you're not going to be yourself, you need. Oh yeah, the Santa hat. I've turned into the Santa hat before. But if you're going to be something else, you better make it a full-on shtick. Probably the best full shtick I've seen is Dr. Disrespect's full-on shtick. He does like everybody knows it's not a real thing, but you know what? That man goes whole hog, and he will not break character for anything. Yeah, he's got a bucket of sunglasses. I'm pretty sure I saw one of his Twitter pictures. A bucket of sunglasses next to him. Hold on, where are your Danger Zone sunglasses? Do you still have them?
Well, I was looking for them just now. I was looking for them. And that actually has a logo for World of Warplanes on it, by the way.
Awesome.
I know.
Where he's playing CV and we'll keep repeating Danger Zone until he blocks it. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay, how about say though? As a carrier player, it is for me personally really hard to monitor chat and monitor your gameplay because there's so much that you have to manage in game that it's hard to manage that plus read chat all at the same time. It is really difficult. And we'll have to throw that out there.
I don't like to play carriers because of that, because you're paying attention so much to your gameplay, and you're not able to pay attention to your chat very much. So that's, I mean, Femme though, she's God. She can do everything.
She can do whatever the hell she wants. She can do the hokey pokey and still be able to sink 5 ships and read chat.
Right. So I'm just saying, if you're not able to do that at the same time, then you're kind of sacrificing both. I mean, I told my moderators when I'm playing ranked or whatnot, I'm gonna be super focused. That I'm not gonna be able to acknowledge crap that comes from the chat. And they knew
as long as you warn them, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what matters.
Right.
Yep. Well, and Indicate and all the mods you have, they're always super good. Because Indicate, I made him a mod in my chat because he's really good at, if I'm not paying attention, acknowledging, he will crack a joke about it. Be like, hold on, Khreegor's pretending to focus like he's actually going to hit this next shot. And he'll acknowledge them for me until I get a chance to say something. So, yeah, that's why I stole him from you. I'm like, no, you're coming over here too, Buttercup. And then Nerd Rage Hulk is my other mod because, I mean, good lord, you could probably ask him anything historical about a boat or a boat in the game, and he will know it. Like, what's the average flight speed of the rounds out of this boat? In game or out of game? In game, it's 122 pixels per second. What the fuck? How do you know this?
I don't even know that. I just go by feeling. I'm like, okay, that's probably off.
Yeah, no, Nerd Rage Hulk, you guys can give him a hard time because he's here in the channel right now watching. He can just, it's like,
yeah.
Why and then he makes that?
And then he makes fun of you for that because he's like, somebody was saying like, oh, I'm running a mod right now, and it has, the blah blah blah, the ranges, and he's like, you don't have all that shit memorized? I'm like, no, I don't have all that shit memorized. No, I don't know the average range of that particular ship because I barely ever play it.
Nice. So I just want you guys to know that I do have a Confederate pin. It's pretty sexy. Check this out.
Like from the Confederate Army, which is okay.
That's a pin that's in the game. Right?
That would be a little controversial right now.
Look at
that. Yep, that's all sexy.
Did that come in your back?
Giving those things out. They're pretty cool.
Yep, that was one thing that was going out at the D-Day. They gave out I think 3 warships pins.
Damn.
Yeah.
I've also got this guy here.
a shameless plug for another streamer who wasn't able to join us because he had some appointments. He was another one who's going to be on. Resp21 has actually got a hold of some extra of those pins, and he's going to be using them for giveaways and mailing them to folks if they're within the U.S.
Oh, wow.
And the extra game code. So if you guys have never popped in, usually when I'm crashing out for the evening, I'll throw a host his way because I know he's always super fun and appreciative. He's a gamer dad like myself. So when I'm crashing out in Hi-Fi, the rest of us are gone for the evening. That's the one I'll usually toss my overflow too. So make sure you harass him in the evenings, like around 10 Pacific. He's up and running full speed.
Yeah,
in the bag.
Static. They got super static every time you.
There's the bag. Possibly.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Damn.
Nice.
So speaking of bringing new players in, have any of you guys? I'm sure everybody's had this experience of explaining World of Warships to somebody who hasn't played it and doing what Khreegor did. And Khreegor's like, screw that, it looks boring. Even watching the game, they're like, this is boring. And then the moment they play like one round, they're in.
I always tell them it's Battleship for big kids. If you watch somebody play Battleship, you want to jab your eyes out with a spoon. But when you're sitting there playing it, all you want to do is just make the person across from you cry. I'm like, that is World of Warships.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the best way I can describe it to you. I mocked it, then I tried it, and now it's like heroin, and I can't find a rehab center.
My cousin Keelatron says he'll never get into warships or whatnot, but one of his streamers, starting the new streamers, his friend said, I got him hooked on warships. I'm like, dude, it happens, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I started playing it first was because every time we went over to do a video on Friday, at Cater's place, we weren't living as roommates, he'd always have World of Warships up. And he kept being like, you should play. And I'm like, I don't want to play this. I have no interest in this. He's like, you got to play. I'm like, I have absolutely no interest. It looks boring. And then finally, he got me to play. And I played pretty heavily for a while. And then I got sidetracked with doing all the stuff for the channel.
Oh, you did not.
Yeah,
You're making stuff up now.
No,
No, you're making stuff up.
I'm making
You got stuck on the Kaiser. That grind from Kaiser to Bayern's pretty tough.
fucking hate the Kaiser.
Well, I guess that goes back to what is that one boat you hate? Well, actually, there's one. What is the one boat that almost made you quit grinding up a line? For me, even though it's now one of my favorite boats, before they made the adjustments and I learned how to play it properly, it was the Pepsi Cola. I almost stopped. Once I hit that boat, I almost went back a chair and went, nope. But now I'm like, oh, I wish I was playing that one again. What is that one that you hit it? You can't say Zumo High Fire.
You
hate it right now.
It's been 3 ships in a row. The whole Japanese line. I mean, the Miyoko took a long time for me to figure out, and I still don't know freaking how to figure it out. And then all the Southern Dragon and all the other the anime crap that comes out for it, I still don't know how to play very well. So Mogami was a pain in the ass too. I got through it pretty quickly, but I don't like to go back to it either. And now still the Ibuki, Ibuki. It's still, I'm like, dude, I'm hoping the Zao is, everything everybody wants it to be. So 3 worth this shit I can't figure it out. Then, sorry. But yeah.
I would say Go ahead.
I was going to say Mitsuki. Because once you get past the Minakaze and then you get into once that reload time goes up on those Japanese destroyers, you actually have to learn how to play a destroyer.
Right.
That's really what it comes down to. It's like you had it easy, you had the training wheels on, now it's gone, and you're like, now I got to go play the Americans or the Russians, which I'll play the Russians.
Rough. Good luck.
Yeah, the Russian destroyers any day. I'll take a Ganevny any day. Like those are fun. Ganevny's badass. Like they're nail drivers. I love the Russian destroyer line. When you can bully a battleship away from a cap with your guns, that's impressive. You can just put so much fire down on them. I like it with the destroyer. Plus they can't hit you.
They're that bad.
Yeah.
Possibly, what was the boat that you almost went, fuck this line, and quit working your way up it?
I've got 2. The first one is the Miyogi, the Tier 4 battleship, which I did quit that line. I have not touched it ever since until I got the Fuso. And then the other one was the Langley, funny enough. I actually sold that ship 4 different times before I actually kept it and actually grinded it out.
You didn't grind it out. I believe what you told me is I got it, and I dumped about 80,000 free XP just to get through it.
No. I dumped about 300,000 for the Lexington.
That's what that was about.
Yeah, it was a Lexington because that was before they had the strafe out. So basically, I'd get locked in a fighter match, in a Japanese carrier, and I just couldn't leave it. So my fighters were locked in. I couldn't take them out, and I had no fighters for the whole game because once they're locked in, they're stuck there.
Actually, I lied. The Nagato. That was the vote for me. I have sold all my Japanese BBs at this point. Gave it the middle finger. Said I'm allergic to fish anyway, so sushi's just not for me. Fuck you guys, I'm out.
Fun fact, I know Hotel will get this. You know what happened to the Nagato? Where it ended up?
Where's that?
Bikini Atoll. It was the one. It was the one Japanese ship we dropped a nuke. We dropped 2 nukes on it.
Yeah.
But they're like, fuck this ship. Boom.
Probably.
And Prince Eugen was the other one.
That's a damn shame. Probably my 2 ships that very nearly turned me away from a line, which one is still current. That one is the Nievny, the tier 6 Russian destroyer.
Love that boat.
Yep.
And then the York, the German tier 7.
Gdebny used to be at tier 5.
Yeah, it used to be at tier 5.
You don't like the York? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I haven't actually tried the New York yet myself.
No, the York.
York.
Oh, the York.
York.
I thought you said New York.
Well, the New York is pretty freaking terrible, too.
Yeah. I'm stuck on that one. Actually, that's the one I'm stuck on the American side.
Oh, I hate the New York so much.
Oh, dude, I'm already through that.
Texas is so much better. And it's just that center turret firing angle. That's what does it for me.
Yep, that middle
Really,
turret.
just that much. Really, between the New York and the Texas, just that center little thing that's just very little bit difference.
And the AA. But
yeah,
the AA difference against, because when you face a tier 6 carrier now that they have manual drops and tier 5s don't, just
the New Mexico's rewarding in tier 6 and 7s, not in 8s, but it's pretty good. So
that's what I'm on right now. Kiowa Mechanic had a great question. Other than hopping into our streams, what are some resources we would recommend to a new player to go use and look at? My 2 big ones, I've never watched them, but you guys just sing his praises, would probably be Jingles. I've heard is really entertaining and good. ATSF videos, they're hilarious, but he is breaking down good tactics or different ones. If you've never watched his Clemson video, ATSF How to Clemson, aka Time to Club the Seals or something like that, he shows you how to stealth thwart people popping out behind islands, how to properly position it, how to use your concealment. The whole time you're dying laughing because he's so hilarious with it, but it's still really educational. Those would probably be my 2 big ones. Possibly he's about to start chewing off, or Hotel's about to chew off his nails if he doesn't get to blurt his out. So I'm going to keep talking until he just has an aneurysm.
So I actually don't recommend watching Jingles to learn how to play World of Warships, for the record. If you're looking to be entertained by a wonderful British man with a beautiful laugh, it's him. But for learning World of Warships, the Sailing Robin, Euro, kinda, sorta, Ship Comrade.
Euro now used to be ATSF, but now he posts under Euro.
Yep, he posts under YURO. And then Flamu. Not his streams, not Flamu's streams. His YouTube videos.
YouTube's right.
Flamu's YouTube videos, yes. His streams, absolutely not, because he's just a giant troll. Even like if he was NA, possibly maybe would not be #1 troll NA.
Whoa.
Be number 2.
I'd probably add Notzer in that list too.
Yeah, Notzer. Arun,
Sometimes.
IJs, you can go with a few of them, but Warships podcast has been recently for me for getting information and at least good opinions on it, because they have a lot of Kami Samurais on that Warships podcast, and he's a super tester, so he'll test out some stuff. He will only give out some information he can, because NDA stuff. But they'll try out some ships and put their opinions out there. And they do a cast about, every Thursday or so? So I get the heads up on a lot of stuff on that.
I think another person outside of the whoever was just about to talk. I think another good resource outside of this panel for carriers just carriers specifically is Fair Zealeth and I can't say it. Yes.
Femininely.
Fair Zealeth and that one.
I've never seen Fair Zealous. I'll have to check them out.
He's the essentially he's the #1 European CV player. He's Omni's CV for Clan Wars. He's like 3 Kings of the Sea running now. He's the top CV player.
Damn. I know
think a
Fem is
good
awesome
person-
because she will always answer questions.
Mm-hmm.
A good all-around person, I think, is Mijash. He does really good streams as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Damn, I feel bad for not even saying that one because Hyper
know,
even
me too.
mentioned him earlier.
Yep, me too. Shoot.
Wow, way to drop the ball there, Hyper. I'm going to
Right.
deflect.
Yeah, that's for any new player. Honestly, I'd recommend ask questions in chat if you can. Ask or go on to streamers and ask them in our chats or anybody else's chat that plays the game regularly. That's really what it comes down to. Learn. Learn. Most noobs don't do that. That's how you die a lot. That's how you have a tier 7 that plays like a moron. Is they don't learn.
I would say also the other thing is yourself. I mean, learning, but then being able to go to either Warships Today or going to WoW's numbers or even just looking at your stats on the World of Warships website and finding out what the weak part of your game is. So if your survival rating's really low, you're probably way too aggressive. If your win rate's really low, it might be because you get paired with potato teams, but it also might be that you're not playing the team game. If you're,
You're playing the wrong ship too.
or you're playing the wrong ship, or you're playing the wrong ship, or you're not playing that ship right. One other thing I would say with the stats is don't so much pay attention to your average damage because it's tied fairly directly to the tier of your ship.
Yep.
I mean, you do want to have a high average damage, but it's not as important as your win rate and your survival rate.
And let's
If
be
you
honest.
start doing more damage than your ship has health, you had a positive impact for your team.
Yeah.
You
And
did
let's
more
be-
damage to them than they could do to you while you're still learning pre-tier 5, I'd say. You're doing a good job.
Wyoming is OP tier 4 ship. That's all I can say to that.
Yeah.
Arkansas Beta is Wyoming on it. I can, it does pretty
Yeah.
well.
So another Dark Centennial has a question. It says, "What was your worst torpedo beat, and how did you make that mistake?" And also, let me toss out what a torpedo beat is for some people who might not know, because it took me a while to find out.
Okay. Who wants to take this one?
So go watch any Euro video, and you'll find out what a torpedo beat is.
So, my worst torpedo beat, it was right after I started streaming. I can't remember if it was possibly or Hotel's first time popping in. But I was in the Clemson, and I dodged. Well, I thought I dodged torpedoes coming in because I wove between them. And I took my hands off the keyboard. I'm like, yeah, what, bitch? What up now? Well, I wasn't done steering out of it, and I overcorrected. My ass into the other one.
Yep.
And one of you two, I don't remember which one it was, or it could have been, it might have been Edge that did it, came across and said, is premature torpedo celebration a common problem for you? And if you talk to
So, D4, can you permit me to post a link? I have actually a clip of my worst ever failed torpedo beat, and it was last night,
Right.
I don't think you're okay with
or
that.
Saturday night.
Yep.
Yeah, throw that one up there for everybody.
Spoiler alert. Turn your headphones
Oh yeah,
down.
turn your speakers or your headphones down, because this is gonna get bad. It's gonna get loud.
Wow, we have
Am I permitted?
visuals for his worst
Yeah,
one.
yeah, go for it. Go for it. Oh,
Okay.
wait, are you last way?
Here we go.
There's no for a clip.
Turn your headphones down, guys. Just a little word of advice. And by the way, there's Mr. Edge, the person that I had talked about earlier, my best one with. I detonated him when he thought he had me dead.
Oh, when he yelled out, that is grade A bullshit.
Great A bullshit.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most memorable statements we've ever seen. I don't know if we have a way to broadcast it out without messing up the overlay for it.
Yeah.
See the smile on your face before. Oh,
See, so what happened there is
I like, dude.
I need to check this out now too.
So what happened? So I'll tell you what happened. So there was this, I forget, I think it was like the Southern Dragon or whatever. I'm in my Duca de Osta, and I kill him, right? And I have my Hydro on, expecting torpedoes. Well, anyway, as soon as the torpedo warning, like, alert comes on, I look at my chat. So I don't see the torpedo warning. And then I look back. Oh, no!
It's so great.
That's great, man.
10 out of 10 recommended.
Yeah, I had one like about a half hour before we started tonight. I was playing the Yamato, and I realized that the Yamato does not stop on a dime. But I was coming up along an island, B caps in the middle, and there's two destroyers from the enemy, and two of ours. And I was like, they're engaged. I don't have to worry about getting a massive torpedo hit. And one of them's a Shimakaze on the other side, but they're engaged. They're in close quarters combat with two other destroyers. I figured I'm fairly reasonably safe. And I stop. I hit reverse just in case, but I just inched like this far out of the island, right? So I'm like fucking back up, and as I do that, Shimakaze full spread, tight spread. Just, no. Took the whole front half of my boat off.
I think the worst one for me is when my game desynced, and a dodgy torpedo, like, yes, I dodged it perfect, and then I got sunk. I'm like, it was like a mile away. How'd that hit me? And my game had desynced. I'm like, come on, man.
What's your worst torpedo beat?
Who?
You.
High five.
Me?
Yeah.
It's usually cross torps from the carriers. I mean, I don't really have like a story. I mean, I do a lot of torpedo beats, and you can see it on the screen. Your butt is clenched up. You're like, holy shit, I just did that. And then it's like,
to the max.
And then all of a sudden it's like, boom. Oh, where'd those come from? I don't know where those came from, but it's usually carriers because they'll do like a cross drop 1, 2, 3, and you're like multiple going off. There's shell shit flying at you, and you're like trying to find these torpedoes. And I'm like,
and you got initial D running in the 90s.
Just do this because the carrier player's underneath you in the stream.
all of a sudden there's just like that. You dodge them all. There's that one. Like, oh.
I remember I actually did that to Torben. I actually cross-dropped him. I sniped him and Sheppy. And his comment was, what is this, the greatest carrier in the history of carriers?
I'm sorry, but I think Hotel Kilo took that one. Holy crap!
Yeah.
No!
And that was just pure ignorance. It was just pure ignorance.
You were smiling right up until that second.
Thinking it's all safe. Whoop.
Yeah.
And the funniest part was that I had my Hydro up expecting torpedoes.
Yeah, you're expecting them.
Way to go.
That's right.
So, Edge, to answer your question on this panel, my favorite person to play with and to play against, I love nothing more than sinking the living shit out of Cater. And since Highfire and I are usually divisioning up in Fractured Space and then forgetting that he never took it off a co-op, so while we're like, yeah, we're whooping ass 15-0, and it's bots, thank you.
The eye roll.
After we both talk so much
Highfire
shit
just
on our
tilted
teams.
off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
My favorite one to play with, and not to pick on Hotel, but I'm gonna have to say possibly maybe because then I know I have a confident fucking carrier player on my side who's not gonna take every single one of his planes into a tight little like, I don't know, like dog pile and run them along the edge of the map just trying to find the other carrier because being useful is such a foreign concept to them. So those would probably be my two. We'll use this as our wrap-up question, guys, because we were figuring we'd keep you entertained for an hour, and we're at 2.5 hours. So, Cater, real quick, before we wrap up and do each person give their shout-out, your favorite person to division with on the panel here, and your favorite person to compete against. And high person division with most.
On the panel here.
On the panel here. High Fire's the only one who gets to make the exception.
Oh well, I'm gonna go with the competent carrier, but Hotel Kilo is pretty fun to play with. They're both pretty competent, and I think playing a tier 10 match with and killing a Missouri, a Montana. Was that you, Hotel Kilo, that I was with? It was like the first time we played together. I think.
I think
we
so.
divisioned up. Was it me?
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's go off and do some tier 9s because that's whatever you got. And I had the Khreegor tier 8. So you're like, let's go do it. And we killed like a Montana, a Missouri, and we were wrecking face. Just held the cap. So I have to say that was probably one of my best memories. Off the panel, Edge is my bro.
Yeah,
Come here,
it's all
Edge.
about
Come
the
here.
grade A bullshit. High Fire, who is your favorite to division with, and who is your favorite to just send their asses to the bottom?
Well, I mean, Khreegor, I've
Oh,
divisioned
she got a
with you
heart.
a few times or so. But
We
I
have,
haven't divisioned
actually.
I haven't divisioned anybody else here. I've hosted both Hilo or Hotel and also you. But now that I know the other guys here, I'll probably be hosting you guys later.
Fuck those
but,
guys, man.
Rude.
as far as my favorite person to division up, I still have to give it to my dad. He'll drop in and he will absolutely sometimes have no spatial awareness going on, and then sometimes he's right on par. I'm like, you just pulled that out. Okay, go for it, do it. He pulls it up,
You
and
guys
sometimes it's like Jesus. It's like
ever
the other days
get
it's like I'm
kids?
bragging on him.
If you ever get the chance to watch him playing, and he's playing with Short Circuit, that's his dad.
Yeah.
The shit you hear come across the comms from his dad. Now that I know it's his dad, I'm just picturing like a 50-year-old High Fire.
A gray High
I'm
Fire.
personally going to be in tears listening to it.
Yep.
Possibly, who is your favorite to division with and your favorite one to send to the bottom? You can't pick Edge for the person to sink because he's not,
Yes, it is always going to be Edge. I love sinking Edge.
not on the panel, sir.
Ah, man. Well, on that note, nowadays, because I got team killed by him, Caters is my favorite one. Is the center to the bottom. Son of a bitch. And obviously, if you've ever seen the multi-streams, favorite has to be Hotel.
Oh, he missed it too because he was.
Yeah,
Don't
but now
tell
he has
him.
plausible deniability. He doesn't have to admit he said
It's
hotel.
Hotel Kitty. Hotel Kitty.
Outside
Kilo.
of panel, my favorite
Hotel
person
Kitty.
to duo with, though, has to be Nerd Rage Hulk or Stamps, because that man will carry like a beast. No matter how potato you are, he's the only person I know that I watch or play with that actually managed to beat High Fire to rank 1.
Yep.
But I think he also took a couple days of vacation time to make sure he hit that rank 1.
Yep. Yeah.
All right,
Stamps is brutal.
So we'll go around and do one more last quick shout out from each person.
Whoa! I didn't get
Only
to
did
go.
216 battles.
Well, I know.
Right.
Trying to avoid you real quick. But it was an Edge's request, is what I'm going to say.
Oh.
So, my favorite person to play with is that man right down there. I think I may have
Aaron?
put my hand off.
Wait, I should look at Skype. Oh, possibly. Okay.
Possibly, maybe. He's probably my favorite person to play with. We've just really learned our game, like our play style, really well. Yeah.
You sit back, let his planes do the work. That's how I learned.
Well, even when he's not playing a carrier, granted his skills have fallen off a little bit outside of carriers since he's been playing them all the time, but he's still pretty dang good. My favorite person to sync is probably also possibly maybe. Especially when he's in the USS Sky Cancer, aka the Saipan.
Never sucked me in my Saipan before. Get out of here with that.
I know I haven't, but I want you to so bad.
It's on his
I don't know,
bucket
confident.
list.
I like that there was no flinch in his voice. He's like, "Yeah, it's sucked me in the Saipan. Nobody sinks me in the Saipan. What are you talking about?"
No. I am
Oh, he gets sunk in the Saipan all the time.
fires.
Oh, not all the time. Now,
Fires, and then the match ended before he went down, and you hear possibly queue up. Still didn't sink me, bitch.
I have to throw in a random fact. I don't know who this guy is. Maybe somebody else to know him that's watching the stream. Some guy by the name of Legend. I guess he's a really good tanks player. I met him at the D-Day Ohio event. He's seen my name badge, and he's like, "Maybe you sunk me. I remember everybody who's ever killed me." That was pretty awesome. No idea who he was, but that made me smile for the whole day.
See, that's the start of your famous,
Yeah.
dude. You get those and like you.
Yeah, they're like,
I know your name.
Until he walks up to you and says, "You're on my list," and then walks away. Like starts putting on lipstick and pulls out a butcher knife. Then you got to worry. All
You
right.
put the lotion on the skin, or you get the hose again.
All right. Possibly, do you have any parting shots? Pun fully intended.
What's
Any famous last words? We're gonna go through the panel. Then we'll give everybody the next date that we're gonna run one, so everybody can get ready to come join us again, and they'll know to drink a lot more before they do.
So is this like a channel shout out?
Yep, do a channel shout out for yourself. Yep, we're gonna start with possibly. We're gonna go across the screen on my Skype. So I'll call you out.
It's like the end of Hot Ones. If you ever watched this, you can do a shout out.
Hot wings and hotter questions. You know?
Yep.
Feel free to check out the channel, guys. Twitch.tv/possibly_maybe. I play a lot of carriers, and odds are pretty high if I'm playing in like the mid-afternoons, early evenings, Eastern time. I'm probably playing with Hotel Kilo. So feel free to check us out. We have a good time, and always remember, all is well at the Kitty Hotel.
Hotel Kilo.
First, thank you guys so much for tuning in and whatnot. Definitely check me out, twitch.tv/HotelKiloActual, otherwise known as HotelKiloActual for some bizarre reason. I stream Mondays and Thursdays from 8 p.m. Central Time, North America, and then until about 11:30, and then Saturdays from 6 p.m. Until whenever the heck I feel like jumping off. And then I'll do some random streams. Normally I play a random game on Sundays, but that's pretty much it. And make sure you drink plenty of water in between my streams.
No.
Overrated. You can take a lot of piss breaks during the streams.
I see. Water sucks. Gatorade.
But thanks for watching. First of all, thanks for watching, guys. I'm off and on right now. I'm going to be setting up a steady schedule here pretty soon. But you can watch us on this channel. You can watch me on the D4_Cater channel. We also have Baron Nuts and Bolts over there. Baron_Nuts and Bolts. We also have Khreegor over here that are all part of the same network. So we all stream on a regular basis, and it's hosted pretty much on this central channel. So if you toss a file on this channel, that'll get you access to all that.
High fire.
Yes. Holy crap.
Baron, I know you don't do a lot of worship streaming. You're more of a moderator to help keep us on track, and you made the awesome frame and a ton of emojis if you want to give a shout out to what you're usually streaming and what you're doing.
Yeah, so mainly you'll always catch me usually most nights. I'm usually in chat, BSing or on talking with Khreegor on his streams. I'm also kind of been running stuff behind the scenes here for the Defortification channel. A lot of my stuff on my personal channel is under creative. I stream most weekends, Saturday and Sundays. We'll see me building emojis for a lot of these guys, background images, and I usually stream a lot of that content. And then in the afternoons, a lot of times I'll be streaming gameplay footage from the games that I'm currently playing, such as Warcraft or whatever indie game that kind of pops up that catches my interest. So, yeah, and then possibly maybe just threw up there. That's one of those little emojis I made for him this weekend for an exchange for pizza. So, all good things.
Just so you know,
great. I love that.
The debt has been paid, so I am already scored there.
All right.
Yeah, he actually does work with food. He did yours. He did a really cool Dova Bear for Torben157. He's getting ready to work with J=Josh, another streamer.
Just did his logo for the type text for him the other day.
Nice.
So got that. He's
Eventually, if we can narrow mine down, so for anybody else in here, if you're trying to get some stuff done, he's pretty cheap. Highfire, give that big shout out and tell us all about tomorrow, man.
Man. All right, so my channel just hit recently about 2,000 followers, now 2,500 pretty soon here. We're just going up and up and up and up. So I have a 24-hour stream. I did a 24-hour stream when I hit 1,000 back in February. What I did back then is every 2 hours or so I did a 3-day premium, and that's going to count for both ships and World of Tanks. So if you play either one of them, I'll give them out to you guys. I mean, they're cross-platform anyway, so as far as the premium time goes. Thank you, Khreegor, for the invitation to the panel. It's been definitely fun. I love it here, and
sure.
hopefully it can be next couple weeks here. We'll do it again. The whole sunglasses was the bunny ears comment here going on here for Kilo. Appreciate it. Like I said, tomorrow 9 a.m. Pacific time I start up, and I'll be going until Wednesday 9 a.m. So there's 24 hours crossing all time zones. It'll be my second 24-hour stream that I've done.
I don't envy you one bit.
It's time management for one, scheduling your piss breaks and whatnot to two, getting up and walking around for three, getting your food, making sure everything on. I have a Guinness World Record actual medal for 36 hours straight for LAN parties. I actually have that.
Wow.
Oh wow!
So
Nice.
so the 24-hour streams and stuff, it's kind of a newer thing that I was doing, but I can do it. I know I can do it. You guys
heard of a vape bucket?
you guys gonna be doing it too. Trust me. At some point or another, you're gonna challenge you guys yourself for either 12-hour streams or 24-hour streams. Don't be afraid to do it. You guys can do it. Anyhow,
24-hour D&D session for a Friday game.
you guys can. So
Khreegor's like, no.
So Twitch.tv
Twitch.tv
Highfire.
HYF1RE. HYF1RE. So obviously I have a green screen back here, so the green sunglasses come up pretty cool too. So hope to see you guys all for the tomorrow and for the next 24 hours.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good luck.
All
with-
right,
good luck with
guys.
that, man.
All right, guys.
Twitch.tv/Khreegor. Like they said, my stream schedule is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. I do 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific. Some nights I'll try and get on a little bit earlier if I can. Thursday's my night off from streaming just because, I'll be honest, I'm a huge Crit Roll fan.
Mhm.
I'm addicted to watching that show, stream, whatever you want to call it on Geek and Sundry. I don't miss it. Like, I've canceled family plans and hanging out with friends because, fucking Crit Roll. It's an addiction.
It's why he's not going to PAX. He can't skip Thursday Night Drive.
No, because we spent way too much on medical bills this summer.
Right.
He would
Friday
totally
and
be there.
Saturday, I usually keep open streams, so you may see me jump on in the mid-afternoon or in the evenings whenever I have time, because I have to give some time to the family so I keep myself out of trouble, because I am a dad gamer, so I have to kind of juggle it between hanging out with the kiddo, the wife, and everything else. Friday night, so, is a slotted time. Every Friday night, 8-ish, depending on when everybody can get on, because some of our guys are rushing home from work. We do a live D&D game here on this channel.
Every Friday night.
Every Friday night.
Except
if
for
you
this
didn't-
Friday night.
Yep. Any follows, if you guys throw any over tonight, I will be counting towards tomorrow night's stream for the Bean Boozle Challenge. So if you guys have never seen that, it is hilarious. Highfire thinks it's funny as shit. He'll be making his dad do it. He got his cousin to do it. We eat some gnarly jelly beans.
Khreegor,
good stuff.
I'm thinking, just so they have an idea what to look forward to, why don't you do a bean right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
All
Spin
in
to win.
favor.
Spin to win.
All in favor.
Yes.
Better call the wife.
All in favor? Okay.
All in
Give me a
favor.
Yeah,
second.
we gotta do this.
We'll give a sample bean. Just because Highfire said it's hilarious for people to hear her laugh, and I message management real quick. We're gonna spin for a bean. We will not do the cheesy, easy out Colgate toothpaste one. We'll make sure it's a good one.
I demand
She is not picking.
spoiled milk. I demand spoiled milk.
You can demand all you want.
Yeah.
Good dick. The next couple nights, though, I might not be doing Warships just because the open beta for Destiny 2 is only 3 days, and I want to see if it's worth the $50. So I'm going to grind that one out on stream. So if you guys want to see it. But yes, as Baron said, for all of you who've never tuned in my channel, we will do a spin. We will not automatically do spoiled milk, possibly you ass. And we'll see which spin we get, and that is how we will. The 18th will be the next panel at 7 Pacific again. Hotel.
Woohoo! 10 p.m. All right.
I think one thing we should mention before we do sign off last, we should just do the streamers that are doing giveaways. So Highfire during his 24-hour stream, possibly when he hits 100 followers, which might have just happened. And then I'm also doing
200.
a giveaway of 500 followers. I'm giving away a premium ship of your choice that's in the store.
Oh,
So.
wow.
Oh, and guys,
Wow.
just so you guys are aware, I will be taking about a 10-minute break, but I will be streaming directly after this. So, just so you
And I
guys
will
know.
be doing mine at 200, which I am 28 away. At 200, I will be doing a premium ship, $30 or less in value. So you get to pick the boat. I'm not going to pre-pick a boat. And possibly your dick. She spun. Folks, to end the night, this is either going to be coconut flavor or spoiled milk, which is the only one I actually got to see Highfire retch on when he was eating it. So this is what we do for the follows and to show my sub love and for my community. Oh, Jesus, I hope it's coconut.
Oh, but spoiled milk. You hear the one from the background. Spoiled milk.
Swallow it! Swallow it! Swallow it!
10 seconds. 20 seconds. Through it.
Donkey there. Swear to God, I get like 1 out of every 10. Oh, Jason, you almost knocked yourself out with that bookshelf behind you, man.
It's a long way away. It just looks close.
So again, follows tonight, guys. I will be counting it towards the every 3 follows we do a bean for tomorrow night. Like I said, I'll be doing the Destiny 2 for the next couple days, and then right back to my normal boats. And again, if we hit that 200, we'll be scheduling the giveaway probably the following night. That way, everybody can be there for it. So we can put a shout out for it. And don't forget, 100 for possibly. So let's get him his 100.
Possibly needs
5 more followers, guys. 5 more.
5 more. Let's
5
get
more followers.
And then don't forget, guys, watch those commercials and bean bomb the crap out of Highfire tomorrow. He appreciates it. Even the little 5 and 10 cent ones add up because we got to get him a new gaming chair because his is actually starting to screw up his back and his shoulders because he has a shitty one from like the 80s.
I have enough to make you
I mean,
he's already saved up another 600 from commercials. Son of a bitch.
I mean, mine's pretty crappy too. You see, it's like all peeling away. I need a new one too.
Oh, because I always shamelessly plug it. Don't forget, if you guys need some cool podcasts, panspending.com for all your nerdy podcast needs.
Hello.
Guys, and normal fortification sign off. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget, roll for initiative.
Hey there, Force-Siders. Thanks for watching the video. For more content, subscribe to the channel. You can always catch us on Twitch at the links down below. And don't forget to check out our partners over at Pan's Pending Studio for all your nerdy podcast needs. And remember, roll for initiative.